Salmon. Here we go.
Game about to commence here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. I have a feeling it will be a magnificent game of football. Ground in excellent condition. You couldn't ask for better conditions to play football. Thrip couldn't quite get clear of the pack. Well, a push in the back has been paid. It'll go the way of Essendon, and out of it comes Roger Merritt with the kick. Merritt, 70 metres from goal. Goes for the short pass, in the way of the Swans, and it's an excellent mark taken down there by David Murphy. One of the most improved players in league football, David Murphy. An excellent player for the Swans. It's tackled over the back by Bayes. He got an awkward bounce. Bad luck for Bayes. The hand pass comes out. Essendon get it across to Hurd. Hurd thought about giving the hand pass, ignored it. And so the long kick from Hurd towards half forward. Cordy up, the ball down. No one can quite gain possession, and the umpire decides that a bounce will take place.
And once there's Mark Browning, and he'll be very pleased to be back in the side. Admittedly, through injury, he's back in. But he'll be out to really impress when he comes on. Carter already doing well on Salmon there with that use of the body. There's Big Paul. He's caught by Carter, though. From the back pocket, it's Craig Holden with a hurried kick towards the half back line. Peter Francis was held by the arm, said the umpire Shane McDonald. And it was against David Murphy. Now,
that was ridiculous, in my opinion.
Well, there's Peter Francis on half-forward flank. Is a beautiful kick of a football. Look at that, a long, low driving kick. Al Shaw in front, but good mark. Lovely mark, Bernard Toohey in that last line of defence.
So Toohey, very close to the behind post, drives it out towards the half-back flank. Essendon mark at the back. Could have been a free kick to Cordy on that occasion, but we find Trevor Spencer to put the ball forward. Goes for the short pass, looking for Salmon. It's offline, and Michael Byrne takes the mark. Now, right now, the Swans hierarchy might be quite happy that they've got Michael Byrne, losing Coleman and then losing Ironmonger.
Huge job for him, Bob.
Well, let's see if the man is big enough for the job. Punched away. Kicked off the ground by Healy. The loose ball to Hawker. Hawker gets the hand pass across. Terry Danaher comes across the ground, and it's Gavin Keane who takes it. Goes on down towards Salmon. Carter in the front position. Got the free kick, and Rod Carter wins out.
Fantastic play that by Carter. He could see the lead on, and he just put himself between Paul Salmon and the ball and forced Paul Salmon into giving away that free kick for in the back. A torpedo punt. Centre wing pushing the back to Essendon, but the umpire let that one go. I thought it was into the back of Merritt, but Tony Morwood has taken a good mark. Long way out from the half-forward line, though. He actually kicks to centre wing. Walsh was there doing some hard work, and Salmon. Good gutsy play by Brett Scott. Also good play as it comes wide to Stephen Wright. That was from Bayes. Kappa at the back. Can't take it. Taken away by David Johnston as he sprints away onto the left foot out wide. There's only one man there as Bernard Toohey, but it beats him over the line halfway between centre wing and half forward for the Sydney Swans.
The throw-in to take place outer side of the ground. Season's hit-outs average. Essendon way in front. Oh, must be a push in the back. Called play on. A loose ball over the boundary line. Now, there's no doubt that was a push in the back, but umpires aren't always consistent. Season's tackles average again in favour of Essendon. Byrne got the tap down. The loose ball comes out with Keane. Throw according to the umpire. Now he was right on the scene. And umpire Ian Robinson, is it?
Best
Robinson, yes.
And the best umpire in the game.
So he was right on the scene. It was very close to it. So we see Tony Morwood go short, and Merv Neagle, who had dropped down from the centre to take the shot at goal.
Barry, it's a big game for Neagle. I think playing against your old club, you can always lift and produce something extra.
You always feel you've got something to prove, Pete, and Nagle's had a great year to date. Had a good couple of quarters in the state game on the midweek.
The shot offline, just hitting the post. 1 point the result.
A few ironical cheers there. I think what you said before the game is true, Bob. There's plenty of Essendon supporters here as Winton brings it to half back. Over the back of the pack was Morwood. Couldn't take the mark, or where I think, even though they're weakened through injury, I think we're in for a very, very good game of football. 1 point to the Sydney Swans. Essendon yet to score.
You might say they're weakened through injury, but it's the Swans' chance to really show whether they're a premiership prospect.
I agree with that, Bob. If they can win this one today, then they're a very good side. There's Mitchell playing on, but it'll have to come back to Merv Neagle. And I wouldn't be surprised if Merv really produces a big one today. He's already in the action. It would have really done his confidence a lot of good. There was some doubt about him after the state game. He had his knee heavily strapped. There he is, a real goer, Merv Neagle. Excellent play with the Essendon club. Now he's kicking wide. The lead has been made by Kappa. I don't know whether it's a great lead by Kappa, but I don't know whether it's to the team's advantage here, because he is not a long kick. There's the lead, and a good lead, but he is on a very acute angle. Have to kick from 45 metres. Well, he's kicked 249 goals in his career, Warwick Kappa, and a very underrated player. A lot of people don't think he's as good as, you know, his performances have shown. I personally think he's a greatly improved player. Not a bad-looking kick, but offline. I really don't think, Barry, that was kicked to the team's advantage, that pass.
Warwick Kappa is always a bit dicey when he leads to those pockets, Pete, and I think he's much better off if he leads straight up the ground.
Kick coming straight up the ground now. And it's almost a mark to 2. He couldn't quite take it. Free kick could go the way of Essendon, as we find Glenn Hawker coming out. He was tackled too high. Hawker thought about going wide. Now elects to go straight down the ground with a long kick. Carter out in front, almost a one-hander. Salmon swoops on it, taps the ball out. It's taken down there by Keane. Keane hooks the ball over the shoulder, down towards the forward area. No mark taken, almost a good one, but it didn't come off, and it was a free kick. Comes out of it to the Swans, and it'll be taken by Barry Mitchell.
He made sure he got that one. Good play by Barry Mitchell. Off he goes to Craig Holden, who runs across the face of goal. He's looking for Merv Neagle against Paul Hamilton, who Essendon think very much of. Beautiful hand pass to Francis under pressure. He's caught. That'll be holding the ball. No, said the umpire. Play on. It's on half-forward flank, the Bombers. This is a real tough, tight contest. Good umpiring by umpire Shane McDonald to let it go there. And I'll tell you what, they're having a fair dinkum go, Barry.
Some great tackling there by the Swans defence. They were really in trouble there, but they just really stuck to their task. Good work.
Bounce half-forward for Essendon as the loose ball comes out to Murphy. A nice hand pass to Mitchell. Mitchell goes long towards centre wing. No mark taken. Simon Madden was up there, couldn't quite gain possession. The pack's starting to form. The hand pass comes out, but not before the umpire had decided that, is it a bounce or a free kick? No, it'll be a bounce. The bounce to take place on centre wing, outer side of the ground. Once again, Essendon in front on the season's kicks average, and every average that has come up, Essendon have been in front, but it's the Swans who are in third position, and Essendon striving to get back into the 5. So it's the use of the ball as Kevin Sheedy has a look at the situation.
I agree with you, Bob, and a lot of people take notice of stats. They ought to have a look at where those kicks and handballs go. That's what's important. And that was a nice tackle, that was. But it's but you've got two very good umpires here today. The evergreen Ian Robinson, and of course you've got an up-and-comer in Shane McDonald. So you'll certainly see a good display there. There's the Bombers bringing it towards centre of the ground. Tui can't take it, or was it Thripp? I think it was Terry Thripp, in fact, it was. Byrne, beautiful hand pass to Scott. Scott to Kappa. Oh, great use of the body, Kappa. Tremendous play against Brian Winton. One out, and that was better than seeing Kappa Barry go for those high flyers.
Well, it was a good piece of work, good use of the body, and I think Kappa might today could kick a bag full on Winton.
I think he might worry Winton too.
Well, here's Warwick from right in front. 250th goal for his career. And yes, he's kicked it.
Brett Scott certainly knows how to use the ball too, Bob. If he gets his hands on that football today, Kappa's going to have a great day, because he's a beautiful kick of the football and featured very strongly in that piece of play there. Good hands from Michael Bird from the centre of the ground, and here we see Scott. Lovely drop punt, and Kappa using his body to perfection. Holds Winton out, takes a strong mark.
Well, it's a very tight, tense game. 1-2 Sydney. Essendon yet to score. I notice Shane Hurd is picking up Gerard Healy and really wearing him like a glove.
And likewise Neil Clark against Paul Hawke.
Well, Byrne with the big job. Madden recognises the best ruckman in the game. But already the Swans are looking pretty good. Gavin Keane, left foot. David Murphy will lead Peter Francis in the race for the ball. He'll go wide to Henwood. There was a doubt on Henwood before the game, but he's moving very well there. Back to Murphy, who was collared. Play on, said the umpire, and it's on centre wing, and it's a free kick. They're not trying to get rid of the ball against Essendon. That was Ian Robinson giving that one. The ball's brought to half forward. Oh, was that Hamilton taking a beautiful mark, Paul Hamilton? Over it goes to Tony Elshaw. Elshaw was out for 6 weeks with a broken thumb, and he's delighted to be back. Oh, Carter's playing very well. To Henwood, to Scott. That was beautiful defensive play, and that's a good mark to Hamilton in the mark. Bobby Skelton doesn't agree with the umpire played it. Well,
I'd say, well, I wish they always played them that easy.
I agree with Bobby. There's a doubt about that one. I was anticipating the umpire paying it. As we see over the back of the pack, Darryl Cunningham. He's got it onto the right foot. He'll probably look for 7. He goes for the hand pass to Spencer. Spencer's got no one to give it to, but he elects to hook it back at the goals, and it sneaks through for 1 point to the Bombers, and that's their first score of the game. They're on 1 behind, Sydney on 1 goal, 2, a total of 8.
Merritt nearly took Terry Thripp's head off there just a moment ago.
Illegally, Barry?
Oh, just.
As Rod Carter prepares to bring the ball back into play, he looks for Neil Cordy at the back. David Murphy puts it along, looking for Morwood. Morwood!
They're looking good, Bob.
And so far they are. Tony Morwood goes across the ground, and a lovely mark again to Brett Scott. Now, Brett Scott a couple of seasons ago, maybe 3, I'm not sure, absolutely killed him. And then he had an unfortunate run with injuries, particularly to his shoulder, when the shoulder kept coming out and had to have it pinned a couple of times. But the boy from Rockburong Creek up there in the...
What was that?
25 years of age. Brett Scott goes towards goal. Right through the centre.
Brett Scott certainly starting the game off extremely well, and as Bob said, he's had a lot of problems throughout his career, and he's certainly making the most of his opportunity today. And that was a good mark for Brett Scott. Kept his eyes on the ball and was rewarded with the mark and the subsequent goal.
Well, there's the Swanettes. Very, very excited. This is a great start by the Swans. They're on 2-2 to Essendon 1 point. 14 plays 1. So a great start. Madden, Byrne doing well early. Oh, head pass to Henwood. That was beautiful play by Mitchell towards half forward. Oh, what a mark! What a very good mark by Gerard Healy. And the Swans, gee, this is a great start. What a good mark. He was being held by Hurd, but he ducked back and showed what a class player he is, Gerard Healy. Well, he's a Victorian player, a regular Victorian player, 169 VFL games, and if he can kick this, it'll put them on 3 goals, 2 to a point, and a terrific start. There's the kick. It's close. It's a goal, and the Swans are on fire.
What a top start for the Sydney Swans. Gerard Healy, who was named vice-captain of the All-Australian side during the week after a fine series, and takes a great mark here, contesting with Shane Hurd, who is wearing him like the proverbial glove. Stuck very close, but Healy, using his body, collects that ball at the last minute.
Bobby, I think that already, very early in the game, there's Gerard Healy's stats. What a great career he's had, but if Salmon is held by Carter, they will have a lot of problems, the Bombers.
I don't think the Bombers have really got their game into flow yet, but only because the Swans are doing well. Byrne got the tap down. It's tapped back by Hamilton, kicked over the shoulder by Hawker. Cordy punches the ball away, follows on, takes it again. Henwood got the hand pass in. It's taken away by Merritt. The hand pass towards Ezard. He's tackled, loses it. Oh, that is rocked.
I agree with you, Bob.
Yeah, that was a fair tackle. I'd love to see that in replay. I thought Tui did everything right with that tackle.
I agree with you entirely, and I think you would too, Barry, wouldn't you?
We've nearly knocked the grandstand down.
That was a
absolute
top tackle.
Alan Ezard, 81 VFL games to his credit. Played with Coburg and via Broadford. Ezard puts it forward. Essendon's first goal on the board. It's 117 to 3-2-20.
Not much you can say about that one, Pete. That was a lucky goal to Essendon, because that tackle, certainly from Tui, to my mind, wasn't illegal. As we see here on the replay, Merritt gets the ball clear. Ezard collects the ball. As we see, no way known was that in the back.
I agree with you entirely, and I think the three of us, well, we've played plenty of football, we all agreed.
The only person at this ground who thought it was a free kick was the umpire.
Well, I think we all agree a very lucky goal. But here come the Swans. Barry Mitchell towards half forward. Danaher playing at half back on Morwood. Gets it to Kevin Walsh. Very slow to get rid of it. Well done, Bays. Peter Francis sets himself. Can't take the mark. But he's got Glenn Hawken to back up. He'll look for Salmon. Salmon leads. Oh, good play, Henwood. Geez, playing on a lot of confidence. Over to Thripp. Thripp wide to Holden. He's got good play, Holden. He had no one to give it to on the left. That was terrific play, that by Craig Holden, the sign of an intelligent footballer. To Bolton, to half forward, Stephen Wright, cop one across the head. Over it goes to Gerard Healy, Kappa and Winton. Kappa in front, bad play, Winton took his eye off the ball. Kappa kept his eye on the ball, and that is not how you play fullback.
I agree completely on that one. As we watch on replay, lovely camera work, and look at Kappa. He's got Winton completely out of position, and I think Kevin Sheedy would already be thinking, as David Murphy is being carried off the ground behind play. So Kappa.
It's rotten luck.
Kappa hooks it, but he's put it through anyway, and through it goes. Murphy being carried off.
That was great play from the Sydney Swans, starting with Craig Holden down there in the back line. As we see here on replay, David Murphy, who looks in enormous trouble. And what bad luck for the Swans. As we see the handball coming through the centre of the ground, Healy pops it up in the air, and Winton, worrying about where Kappa was going to be instead of the ball, Kappa completely bamboozled Winton and took an easy mark.
Well, there's Billy Duckworth. I think they'll certainly use Billy shortly, and because the Bombers are in a little bit of trouble early. But Brian Winton took, well, one of the cardinal sins of football is the ace being taken off the ground. Brian Winton, after that, one of the cardinal sins of football is to take your eye off the ball and worry about your opponent. And Billy Duckworth, come on, who's gone to full back? Is that Merritt to full back or Danaher? Let's have a look down there. Is it Merritt? Merritt's gone to full back.
It is Merritt too.
It is Roger Merritt, who started at centre half forward. Walsh in the centre of the ground. I wonder if he's playing in the ruck now to give Madden a rest. Anyway, we'll pick, yes he is, because Madden's in the forward pocket. Kevin Walsh, a high one now. Salmon. Oh, tremendous play, Carter. Use of the body, but here's Gavin Keane on the left foot. He snaps a goal. He's missed and puts it through for a point. Now that's interesting. They've got Salmon full forward, Madden in the pocket, put Walsh into the ruck, and they've got Merritt to
Walsh
full
is
back.
half back, mate.
Is he? Well, let's see. I saw Simon Madden down the forward pocket. Ah, well. But Merritt to full back, as we see Carter doing well on Salmon. The use of the body, tremendous. If the Swans can win this one, it'll be a tremendous character.
Now, that wasn't fair.
That's sudden
what chance there? What chance then?
No chance whatsoever,
No
Bob.
way in the world. Like,
now you're on the rules committee. Now I don't know if you'll say that's the new
I'm not
rule.
out there umpiring. It's got
but
nothing to do with the
Bobby,
new rule.
I'm saying, is that the new rule?
The new rule has to give the player a chance, and there was no chance. It comes over the back. Hamilton puts the ball wide. Stevie Wright will be underneath it, and you needn't worry about him standing his ground. He plays on immediately. Onto the left foot he goes. Puts the ball up towards the square. Tony Morwood.
No worries.
And Morwood, 5 metres out, about a 40 or maybe a bit more acute an angle as we watch on replay. And Morwood coming across was the only player that had a chance of taking that mark, but judged it to perfection. Tony Morwood puts the ball forward, across the face of goal, 1 point only the result.
Barry, I really believe when you're on an angle like that, you're much better off running out and snapping him in on the left foot.
Well, Tony's quite a good kick with his left foot, Pete, so I thought that would have been the logical thing to do, but sometimes players get delusions of grandeur.
Neil Clark to half-back. David Johnson takes the mark. A very impressive opening this by the Bombers. A short pass should find Darryl Guy. That's a free kick to Cunningham. No. As we see Murphy, a hand pass. Oh, taken away good play by Mark Thompson to Shane Hurd. The lead is by 7, a beautiful lead. Carter had no hope on that occasion, and he will have to kick from 50 metres, Paul Salmon. This will test his kicking ability. Not really a long kick, Paul Salmon. Very deadly from 30 metres out, but from 50 metres, I think there's a question mark on the distance here. Byrne has gone back into the square. Oh, gee, there's no doubt about the distance, but it's well off the side of the boot and out of bounds on the fall because he's strained for distance.
Very poor kick there from Paul Salmon. That should have been a goal.
So we'll find Bernard Tui goes across the goal. Not allowed according to the umpire. He had Henwood over there, and so Tui will be forced to come around the grandstand side of the ground. A poor kick by Tui, touched by the man on the mark. Bolton traps it, gets the hand pass in, over the line it goes. Garen Keane looking for the free kick, but none forthcoming, and so we'll find a throwing to take place.
You don't think with that new rule though, Bob, that umpires are becoming conscious of players hanging onto the ball?
We'll wait and see. It's only been in for 2 weeks, so it's too early to tell, Pete. As we find Henwood gets a hand pass in, it's taken by Thompson. Thompson lost possession, but the umpire must come in and bounce the ball. There was no chance at all. As we find a free kick has gone the way of Wayne Henwood. I think it was against Billy Duckworth.
I still reckon umpires are becoming conscious of players hanging onto the ball too long.
I think the biggest problem with umpires is that they're frightened of physical contact.
Petrified.
Walsh takes it, gives a hand pass out. Clark coming right down the ground. Clark puts it forward. Over the back is Ezard. Poor defence by the Swans. Ezard's opponent nowhere near him.
Well, Bob, Carter did everything right on Salmon. Fantastic Carter then, but he just didn't have the backup support.
But Salmon wasn't the problem. It was Ezard that was
initially
the problem.
Initially it was Salmon. Carter did his job, but his back pocket teammate didn't back him up by picking up Ezard. Well, there he is, Alan Ezard from right in front. Stabs and put it through, and the Bombers are coming back.
Alan Ezard's second goal, and you could say that both of Alan Ezard's goals were really gifts. The first one from a free kick and the second one there because of poor defence by the Sydney Swans. They can't afford to let the Bombers get those easy goals, as we see Alan Ezard's stats for his career.
'81 VFL games, Alan Ezard. Well, the game in an interesting stage, 4-3 to 2-2. Here come the Swans again towards half forward. Oh, gee, Bays waited back for that one. He should have attacked the ball, but Hawke gets it out to Bays. He's got it, a hand pass to Healy. Hurd's there. Oh, well done, Gerard Healy. Tremendous skills by Healy. Morwood and Kappa, both of them raffle that one. Close to the line it is. Push in the back, and it'll go Essendon's way, said the umpire. It'll go to Terry Danaher, right in the goal square. The Bomber captain, and what a great player he's been. Formerly played with South Melbourne. What a good mark. Simon Madden has been in great form in recent weeks. State ruckman brings it to half back to Mark Thompson. Well, now, was he off? I thought he went past the mark. I reckon that's unlucky. That he definitely ran over his mark then, Mark Thompson. The umpire let him get away with that. He kicks it wide. Oh, the big fly was from behind. Hand pass from Healy to Mitchell to Henwood, knocked out of his hands. That's a hip and shoulder bump. Good umpiring to let it go. It's on half back. Bomber Thompson again is caught. Gets it wide. Peter Francis, clever hand pass to Gavin Keane. Keane will run to the half forward line. He'll look for Salmon. Ezard again. Oh, gee, who's on Ezard? Is it Craig Holden, Bob?
I do believe so, mate.
Well, they're letting him run loose as he gives a short pass across to Daryl Cunningham. 40 metres out from goal, but he's giving him far too much latitude down there in the back pocket. Ezard's in everything.
So Alan Ezard going for goal number 3 in this first quarter. 27 points to 14 as Ezard kicks with the left foot. It's right through the centre. Cunningham, I mean.
Daryl Cunningham there after the short pass from Ezard. Daryl Cunningham, the former St Kilda player, and again poor defensive work by the Sydney Swans. Firstly, to let Ezard uncontested mark the ball, and not a Swans defender within cooey of him there. and then he was allowed to short pass the ball across to Cunningham in the centre of the ground to set up an easy goal.
Well,
Tom Hafey on screen.
Well, Rod Carter's doing a fantastic job down there on Salmon, but unfortunately he's not getting the support there. The little bloke, Izzard down there, Craig Holden's got to play shoulder to shoulder. There's Hawker, they're coming back into this. Now, Salmon. Gee, that was a good mark. Poor old Rod was caught underneath that one. Salmon read that beautifully. He's so tall, he marked it on his chest. And you can't keep him out for the whole game. Look at that. Carter tried hard, but a good mark to Salmon right in front of goal. And the Bombers are looking good now. They're really fighting back. And David Murphy's loss will really be felt, I think, by the Swans. Paul Salmon yet to score a goal from right in front. No doubt about that one, a goal.
Paul Salmon, there wasn't much Rod Carter could do about that. The ruckman knocked it to the Rover kicks it to the full forward, and it's a goal. As we see here on replay, the ball knocked down to Hawker it was, who sent a long kick into the goal square. Long torpedo punt, and Salmon took a well-judged mark. Carter, not much he could do about that.
I do believe that Essendon have settled down a little bit and have really steadied in the last couple of moments. 1 point the margin between the sides. 26 minutes have gone. Madden up, got the tap. Tripp came in. Byrne tried to get the hand pass clear, couldn't quite do so. Came out with the ball, but not before umpire Robinson and decided it was time to blow the whistle and indicate that he would bounce the ball once again. 1 point the margin. 4-3 to 4-2 in favour of the Swans. Madden got the tap down. Holden picks the ball up, can't get it clear of the pack. Very good defensive play by both sides, and the tackling excellent so far. Neither side able to really get clear and use the ball as well as he might like. Byrne really bleeding from the nose, maybe the mouth as well. He might have copped a good one. As the former Essendon boy, Merv Neagle, gets it across to Mark Browning. Browning has the chance of putting a goal on the board, and that's just what he does.
Great piece of play again from Merv Nagel, who got the ball out of the centre of the ground and had Browning backing up on his left side. And as we all know, once Browning gets that football, he's a big chance to do something very constructive with it. Hasn't kicked a lot of these this year, Browning, but that was a great goal. Just what the Swans needed.
And Barry, I think if any young player is watching this telecast, I think an object lesson just before he kicked it, he steadied that couple of steps, steady, got his balance instead of just rushing it at 100 mile an hour and blazing away. Great goal. That 33 to 26, 7 points the difference, and we're in for a fantastic game here under perfect conditions. There's Gavin Keane, couldn't get his boot the ball. Brett Scott was in there also. Craig Holden is there now. Bolton is in the back pocket, which is interesting. Bolton playing on Izzard now. Oh, a hand pass comes across to Billy Duckworth. Duckworth to Elshaw. Now there's the danger man, Izzard. Bolton grabbed him. Oh, good play, Bolton, because it allowed Mitchell to come in. Mitchell towards centre wing. Was that in the back? No, said the umpire. Danaher, a brilliant pick-up to Daryl Cunningham. Cunningham left foot, a funny-looking wobbly kick that allows the Swans to chip in. Browning heads for the boundary. Bolton, as I said, playing in the back pocket, brings it back to half-back. It could have been a free kick to the Swans for in the back or holding the man, and it will go to Bernard Toohey against Tony Elshaw.
Toohey hand passes immediately to Mitchell. Mitchell swings back and takes the ball across the ground. It's smothered off the boot. Tony Maud coming forward. Keane overruns it. Holden picks the ball up. Left foot now onto the right foot. Smothered off the boot again, but it's well taken by Byrne. Byrne in trouble, but gets the hand pass out to Henwood. Henwood should go straight down looking for Kappa. No free kick to Kappa. It's picked up and snapped towards goal by right. Just offline, 1 point the result.
I think if that touch in the back there had been down in the back line, it might have been paid. I think it was very close to being a free kick.
Well, to full-back, the scores are 5-3 to 4-2. Nothing in this game at the moment. And that's a 15-metre penalty. Terry Danaher will take this against Tony Maud. The Paul Hamilton always got to get rid of it. Francis under pressure to Elshaw. Elshaw in trouble. A hand pass, well played. Hamilton to back up so well. Cordy has been in great form in recent weeks. Essard, the danger man, he's got it. Can he kick his fourth? He has a bounce. He gives it to Bomber Thompson. Mark Thompson into the open goal, and the Bombers reply. Good play, the Bombers.
We certainly are in for a great game here today, and that was great play from both sides. Cordy committed himself to the ball. As we see here on the replay, both players committed themselves to the ball. It spun loose, picked up by Izzard, had a couple of bounces, handball to Bomber Thompson, and he made no mistake. That was real good, hard football.
Well, you see the scoreboard, 5-4, plays 5-2, and 30 and a half minutes gone in this first quarter, and under perfect conditions. The sun shining, hardly a breath of wind, and we're in for a top game of football. Looking forward to it as we see Holden in the centre of the ground, off the side of the boot. Walsh couldn't take the mark. Stevie Wright charges in after it. Well done, Paul Hawke. To Michael Byrne, the man with the big job. Oh, well done, Danaher. Well smothered. Mitchell was in there, and the umpire said they've been dynamite. I told you, Bob, they're trigger happy on this holding the ball.
That is not the rule you're talking about.
I know,
the man did not dive on the ball.
No, but the umpires are becoming conscious of this holding onto the ball.
Clark takes the ball away, drives it forward for the Bombers. Bolton's there, held by one arm. Paul play on, Carter lends support. Hand passes to Wright. He gives it across to Healy. Healy under pressure drives the ball out wide, where we see both Bayes and Francis after it. Over the line it goes. A throw-in to take place.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that because of that new rule, I reckon the umpires are overdoing it, becoming conscious of players that are in possession.
I think it's a bit more a case that the umpires realise today's game is almost like a final, and they're a little bit frightened that it might get out of hand. As Cunningham, siren goes before he puts feet to the ball. No score. Bad luck for Darryl Cunningham and Essendon, and at quarter time, Sydney Swans 5-4, 34, Essendon 5-2, 32. Second quarter with Essendon kicking to the left of the screen. Swans going to the scoreboard end of the ground. Hawker can't get it clear. Well smothered by Healy away from Hurd, and Brett Scott puts a long kick down towards the forward area, but it's Roger Merritt out in front of Kappa. Takes it, gives the hand pass across. Danaher puts the short pass in, and it's taken by Darryl Cunningham, who goes wide. Out on a lovely mark to Henwood. Henwood a hand pass on to Thripp. Thripp from second centre wing in towards half forward. Morwood, a magnificent mark.
It really was a good mark, that by Tony Morwood. Off he goes, not messing around, and a good pass and a good mark to Merv Neagle. Merv had a chance for a goal in the first quarter but missed, but he certainly set one up to Mark Browning, and he'll be out to really show Essendon something. A very experienced player, Merv Neagle. 45 metres out from goal as he kicks this one. A low trajectory drop, punted, floats away and through for 1 point. Roger Merritt on screen. There's Merv. 5-5 to 5-2. 3 points the difference. Merritt has been moved on to Kappa when Winton looked all at sea at fullback on Warwick Kappa. He brings it to half back. Izzard was the flyer. A good hand pass though to Neagle. He dodges around. He straightens up. Stabs a goal. Beautiful goal to the Sydney Swans. And that was an excellent hand pass. I think that was Mitchell, Bobby, wasn't it?
A lovely piece of football by the Swans. And on replay, we see the hand pass coming across under pressure, and that's when the hand passes really count. When the pressure is on, and that's exactly what happened with Barry Mitchell. He got it out to Merv Neagle, and Neagle made amends. So the former Essendon player, you see for yourself his stats on the board. Membership of the 1984 Premiership side for the Bombers, and he'll be happy to see that go through. Centre bounce. Madden again wins the tap. Tui couldn't quite take possession. The loose ball comes towards Browning. He's dispossessed. Out it comes again. Players coming in from both sides. A free kick has been found. It'll be taken by Paul Hawke of the Swans.
Hawke had in and out year. He's had some outstanding games. There's Stephen Wright. 8 goals in the last performance here. Kappa and Merritt. Well done, Roger Merritt. Terry Thripp cleverly to Healy. Back it comes to Bayes. Bayes on the right foot, a high floater. Kappa underneath it. Danaher was there also, comes off their hands.
Any news from the boundary, Barry?
Yes, David Murphy's got a very badly sprained ankle. They're just in the process of taping it at the moment. There is some doubt whether he'll take any further part in the game.
Well, I'd say very doubtful the way he was carried off, but that's rotten luck. But there, stab at goal. Across the face was by Bays. Bad luck, a difficult shot, and over the line and out of bounds. Mark Bays, still a young player, enormous reputation from junior days. Forward pocket. Let's see if the Swans can get one here. It'd be very handy. Al Shaw. Oh, gee, almost dropped that one. In goes Kappa. Close to the line it is, and in fact is forced over the line deep in that forward pocket.
So the throwing to take place about 5 metres around from the behind post. Forward pocket for the Swans. 32 to 41 in favour of the Swans. Swans at the moment in 3rd position. Essendon in 7th position, but with the chance of moving closer if they can win today. Simon Madden up towards Danaher at centre half back. Danaher he played on for mine. It should be against Danaher. Robinson not having the courage to give the decision. Madden takes the ball away, gives it across to Keane, and the mark will be taken.
Well, if he did play on, it certainly was holding the ball. I agree with you, Bob.
He called play on the umpire, but then wouldn't go on with it. As Keane taking it from Hurd, puts the ball forward, no mark taken. Players running into each other. Browning taps the ball forward, picked up by Spencer. He couldn't get clear. Pushing the back could have been paid to Holden. Trying to get the hand pass to Henwood. A little bit. Henwood taps the ball back. Holden offloaded. Thripp, Hamilton, and the free kick will be paid to Terry Thripp. Tiggy Touchwood, Barry.
Oh, some pretty rugged stuff there, Bob, and I thought there was a lot as well as the one for Thripp, but very much like a rugby scum now with this new rule.
Thripp puts the ball forward, and Eagle takes the mark.
That was shocking team play by Francis, and whilst they stood and looked at each other, it allowed Neagle to take it uncontested.
So he's kicking from 55 metres out. Lovely kick off the boot. Glorious kick from Neagle, his 2nd goal.
What a kick by Nagel at that stage there. Another badly needed goal by the Swans, but great piece of work there by Henwood to get that ball out to Thripp. It was free kick, got the ball out to Nagel, and that was a great kick of the football.
Well, I said earlier, there's Merv Neagle on screen, and well, I thought he'd be in for a good day against his old club, giving it everything, Merv, and he's kicked 2.
Well, from the centre bounce, a free kick has been found to the Swans. An Essendon player infringing into that centre square, so it's Michael Byrne from the centre of the ground. Awkward looking kick, no one can take the mark. Tapped away by Madden, he picks it up himself, got the hand pass in. Wright gets the hand pass over the top, picking it up was Mitchell. He got the hand pass across to Holden, he hooks it across, but it's out of bounds, I think, before Holden put boot to ball. And so a throwing to take place. Forward pocket for the Swans. Last year we saw the Swans finish in 4th, Essendon in 5th position. There's both teams desperate today. And it's 32 points Essendon, 47 points the Swans, 15 points the margin, 6.5 minutes into the 2nd term.
Well, with Geelong losing yesterday, it's a most important game for the Bombers. It's like a grand final, this one, because the big winner, they can actually go into the 5. If they actually win the game, it'll put them level. Its ball will have to come back. He'll have to kick over the mark in that back pocket, Roger Merritt. But if they win this game, they'll be level on points with Geelong. And Geelong are just in the 5. So, a very important game. That's a good mark, Michael Byrne, to Gerard Healy. Healy sets it up to the forwards. Morwood. Kappa. Oh, Kappa tried to grab it. Merritt was grabbed. Play on, said the umpires. Coming through was Daryl Cunningham to take it over the line on half-back flank.
Kappa's got to forget that it's Big Roger on him, I think.
Well, I tell you what, when they last met Essendon by 47 points, at Essendon, of course, Swans were with them on that day for a fair while, but then the Bombers ran away. Now it's on half-forward. There's Bays to Hawke. Good football, Paul Hawke. Oh, here's danger. Browning, 40 metres out. Mark Browning straightens up and slams it through. Great goal for his 2nd.
Mark Browning's 2nd goal, and what a great smother that was from that South Melbourne forward. I didn't quite see Paul Morwood. That really was sensational. Smothered that ball, got the ball out to Hawke.
I should say.
Tony Morwood, and bang, great goal from Mark Browning. Certainly got his kicking boots on today.
You didn't say South Melbourne then, did you, Barry?
No, I did not. Did I?
I thought you said South instead of Sydney Swans.
They are still South. What are you talking about?
They are not.
They transferred to Sydney and they are both. They are South Melbourne who became the Sydney Swans. Thompson takes the ball away from the centre after Madden got it down. Terry Danaher across to Darryl Cunningham. Duckworth takes it. It's a lovely kick from Duckworth. Beautiful goal, Bill Duckworth.
This really is fantastic football. Great left foot goal there by Billy Duckworth and a quick reply by the Bombers. As we see on replay here, Terry Danaher handballing the ball out to Billy Duckworth, Elshaw to Billy Duckworth. And that was a great left foot kick from Bill and straight through the middle.
Billy Duckworth, one of the personalities of the game, Peter.
He's fantastic. You want to watch him when he... there's his ID, 86 games. Norm Smith medalist, 84.
It's a great kick, Billy.
Back to the centre and Madden. Not having it all his own way there. Browning. Taken away by Brett Scott. A high one. Nobby Clark. Oh, the Essendon players are not talking in defence. Stephen Wright, who nearly got run over, kicked away by Bays. That could be a mark to Kappa. Now, is it a mark? Now, I don't know whether it was touched off the boot. It wasn't, so it's a mark. I think Kevin Walsh thought it was touched off the boot, which meant it wasn't a mark. And Kappa stopped, was grabbed by Clark, and the umpire allowing the mark. Now, the question was, well, it's a mark anyway, but the question was whether it was touched off that kick off the ground.
Well, it was certainly far enough, Pete, to be termed a mark, and Kappa was ridden in fairly strongly into the ground after he did take that ball and got the benefit of a 15-metre penalty.
Warwick Kappa coming in for goal number 3 from right in front, no doubt about that one. 3 goals and the Swans go further in front.
Watch on replay now. Ball being picked up by the Sydney Swan, kicked off the ground by Bays. Very hard to tell whether it was touched or not, but his hand certainly was near the ball. And an easy grab by
I think it was
Warwick
more
Kappa.
a case of Clark thinking that Kappa was going to play on, and I think if he hadn't fumbled it, he was going to play on.
Well, good thinking by Kappa. Under those conditions, often you think you're clearer, you can play on. Back.
Centre bounce. Madden again wins the tap, but nonetheless, no matter how many times Madden has won the tap, Pete, Essendon really haven't taken the ball away from the centre.
Swans are very good round the packs. They're workhorses and their little fellas get in and get the ball. And, well, that's the most important thing. I don't think hit-outs are that important in modern-day football. It's who gets the ball when it hits the ground, and Hawthorn have proved that. Madden, there's Mitchell at the base of the pack, and once again Neagle over to Thripp, and Thripp sets it up for Kappa. Now Kappa and Merritt, oh, good play Merritt, might have been held then, but Steve Wright's got it into the open goal, and it's another one of the Swans, and they're looking good.
Then once again we see the benefit of the ball coming out of the centre of the ground. Not who gets the knock, but who takes it away. Thripp, long kick into the goal square for Kappa. Both juggling for position there, goes over the top, and a great roving job by Stevie Wright makes it an easy goal.
Barry, I think we also see the value of the Rovers not being up the ground, being down where they belong. If they're not on the ball, they should be in the forward pocket.
Agree with that, Bob, wholeheartedly, and Swans work that to perfection. 10-5 to 6-2. This is a handy lead. Here they come again through Brett Scott. A wobbly kick to half forward. Oh, well smothered down there. Beautiful play, but here they come. Paul Hawke, the Bays into the open goal. He steps in. It's another one to the Swans. This is a great exhibition of football by the Sydney team.
And like we said before the game, Merv Neagle certainly would be building himself up for a great game, and he had a lot to do with that goal there. As we watch on replay, Neagle getting the ball out to looks like Hawke, and Bays just pops it through for a goal. But that was fantastic work from Merv Neagle, who committed himself to the ball, and it was a great handball.
It's on behind play.
Pressure.
Bit of a wrestle going on the forward line. There it is, as we can see it now. There's Trevor Spencer's there, so too Rod Carter. I think Salmon might be there. No, Salmon's in the centre. So it might be Simon Madden who's come down there. Wayne Henwood and Trevor Spencer on camera at the moment.
I wouldn't want to tangle with Wayne Henwood, would you, Bob?
Oh, not in the dark alley at night anyway.
The Moose.
He's terrific value, Wayne Henwood, for the Sydney Swans, and so's this bloke. He's fantastic, and he puts pressure on, and it makes players a little bit frustrated because he plays so close and tight. Look at him. He should be picking up Madden there, giving away height and weight, and he'll play him, wear him like a glove. He'll put him under a lot of pressure.
Centre bounce, and Paul Salmon is in there for the Essendon side, competing against Michael Byrne. Madden down at full forward. Byrne against Salmon. Salmon wins the tap. Cordy's first on the scene. Taps the ball forward. Tripp after it for the Swans. Taps it on. Goes after it. Kicked off the ground. He gets good support from Tui. Tui hooks the ball over the shoulder. Bayes is there. Comes to Mitchell. Mitchell hand passes. Kicked by Healy in mid-air. And unfortunately it went to the opposition, and it's a 15-metre penalty against Eagle as it's taken there by Hawker. Winton back on the ground for the Bombers as Hawker goes across, finds Clark, gives it out to Hamilton. Hamilton racing through the centre of the ground, goes long. Carter leads in the race with the ball, taps it on over the boundary line. Quite happy to see it go over.
I reckon the Bombers have got to do something at full forward, Bob.
Well, they've tried. They've put Madden down there.
Hang on.
Spencer and Francis on the interchange.
Yes, Spencer and Francis. They've got to have someone more mobile at full forward. And I'd put Terry Danaher down there on Carter. They've got to do something. They're falling down. There's a hand pass from Scott. Comes to Holden. Holden to half forward. Over the back, Hamilton punches it away to Clark. Clark on Hawk as they head for the boundary line. And in fact, it goes over the line. I think when you're having ruckmen coming off the ball who are tired, Rod Carter's going to have a feast down there at full back. I'd get Danaher down to full forward. They need someone to kick goals and kick them badly, as we see Neagle wide to Mitchell. Mitchell to the pocket. Kappa comes out. He keeps it in play. Good play, Kappa. Oh, excellent football as he's attacked there by Winton, who is obviously back at full back. And let's see where Merritt's gone to. Bob, have you picked him up? Back to centre forward, Roger Merritt. So they are really worried.
I could never understand them taking Merritt from centre half forward personally. I'd try Walsh at full back against Kappa before I would have moved McKee forward as the ball comes to Neagle. Neagle goes up to Kappa! Full play on, he snaps! Full points to Kappa, his fourth!
That was a great goal for Maury Kappa. He had to play on once the umpire called play on, and he swung it at his left foot, and it's gone through as we see on the replay here. A good catch from Kappa as well.
I think Kevin Sheedy's kidding. He's put Winton back on Kappa.
Well, what did we say at the start of the game? That Kappa would kick a bag full on Winton. I think that will continue, and that was a good catch and good thinking by Kappa as well. I don't know how the goal umpire picked that up. That was pretty quick.
Kevin Sheedy talking to Kevin Morris as to what will they do. They're 6 goals, 3 down. Salmon wins the tap. Free kick should have gone against Clark. The hand pass, the loose one comes out. Tripp takes it, couldn't gain possession. He gets good support from Cordy across the right. Right dummies a hand pass, gives it to Neagle. Neagle with one bounce. The hand pass over across. It comes to Scott. Scott steadies, goes towards goal. It's another.
Absolute champagne football for the Sydney Swans and 2 goals to Brett Scott. The Bombers certainly got a lot of problems at the moment, and I think probably their biggest one is the Swans small men. They are absolutely killing the Essendon small of a grade around that centre bounce, and not only at the centre bounce, but at the fall of the ball all over the ground.
Well, Barry, about 5 minutes ago, Hawker was taken out of the centre because Scott was getting the ball out, and Essendon forced to make desperate changes, Pete.
Well, this is a danger time now for the Bobbers. The Swans are looking terrific. Salmon in the ruck, and as Bobby said, Brett Scott doing particularly well in the centre. And, well, I think the Essendon small men have got to do a heck of a lot more. There's Chris Danaher on the ground. Out to a lumbering Simon Madden, who's got it now in half forward. Back to Keane. Keane in the pocket, kicks it high. Danaher should mark this. Will it go through? It might have been a goal. What a good goal by Gavin Keane. And that might be able to lift them a little bit, but their little men, Barry, have to do a heck of a lot more.
That was a very poor kick coming out of the centre of the ground by Danaher, but it was well gathered by Keane. Madden chased it. We watch here, we might see, or we watch see Holden trying to pick Keane up, but he didn't commit himself to that tackle until well after Keane had gathered the ball, so a little bit of slack work on behalf of the Swans defence allowed that goal to the Bombers.
Ian Robinson about to bounce it, with Sydney leading by 39 points at the 18-minute mark of the second quarter. Now that's a couple of times Essendon have been
players have to run over the line.
Well, Essendon, and it's amazing how it can often be the one side too that doesn't continue. There's Salmon ducking back. The ball hits the deck. Oh, well done by Bays. Out to right to Hawker. Hawker intercepted that well. Merritt against Henwood's putting terrific pressure on. Good football. Hand pass. Browning's caught holding the ball. No, said the umpire. Hand pass into Walsh, and Walsh takes it away. Oh, he's going to do too much, or he tried to. In goes Hawker, dives on the ball, and very lucky to get that because he dived on top of it. And the free kick was given against Wayne Henwood. He's a long way down from centre half back. Off goes Hawker. Let's see if they can score a couple of goals. A chip pass. Oh, gee, Merritt. Oh, gee, gave away
the other way.
Roger Merritt.
Whacked Hawk right in the mouth.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He gave Hawk one as he tried to intercept. And what's that? Yes, gave him one with the left hand and marked it with the right. Down towards half forward it goes. The Swans throwing everything at the Bombers, and it's mainly through their desperation and the way they're prepared to get in and get the ball. Paul Hawke. Oh, good football. Wide to Craig Holden. Holden to half forward. Shane Hurd and Paul Salmon. And Kappa. Oh, Kappa leads Salmon easily to the ball. Beautiful football, Kappa to Healy. To Mitchell. Intercepting with Salmon. And it's the big men for Essendon having to do the roving, Bob. They need a bit of help from the little men.
Well, that was the decision then when Mitchell really made no attempt to get rid of the ball and accordingly was penalised. So we'll find Big Salmon with the free kick midway between back pocket and half back flank. Hooks the ball in towards the centre. Henwood punches the ball away. Once again it's the Swans as Hawke comes out with the ball. Hooks it over the shoulder. Up high and an excellent mark that time. I thought Hawker should have run straight at it, but it was Merv Neagle who took the mark.
That was the difference, Bob.
Neagle goes forward. A mark to the Swans. Barry Mitchell out in front, bleeding from the mouth, but I don't think it'll be worrying the little fella. Guts personified as Mitchell comes out and takes the mark.
I think this is one of the Swans' best performances. This is a terrific performance so far. It's pure guts and desire to get the ball as Elshaw's coming off the ground and Peter Francis is coming on for Essendon. Barry Mitchell from right in front as he kicked another one he has. And the Swans killing it.
Swans doing an absolute superb job, and we talked about character before the start of the game, and there's no doubt that you can certainly say that all the Swans players today at least have absolutely got loads of it. Neagle again to the forefront in setting up that play, and he just committed his body to the ball, and the Essendon player in Hawker wasn't real keen on it, and Neagle snatched the ball away from him, short past the ball to Mitchell, who capped off a great piece of work.
Centre of the ground as we see players desperately going after Hawker. Should try and redeem himself after his last blue. Oh, great tackling allows Bays to come in. Hooker back. Kappa! Oh, went very early over the top of Winton. Winton claiming it should have been a free kick. I'm inclined to agree with him a little bit there too. I thought that was into the back of Winton. Let's have a look.
I disagree. He had his eye on the ball.
He was about 1 second too early. That's all he was. That would have been the mark of the year.
I agree with you. Back it comes towards half back. Yes, that is a change. Francis. He did have his eye on the ball. Kappa towards half forward, over the back of the pack, or side of the pack, in fact, as he's hard. Those little men have got to do more for Essendon. Madden, I should say, against Carter. Madden gets it wide to Keane. Oh, they're too good, the Swans. Too good in defence as we see Tui coming away with the ball to Brett Scott. He's down. The umpire paying the advantage rule. The Bays. Bays marks it. A one-handed mark on Walsh. And Bays on half-foot flank should move it quickly to Kappa. Kappa's pushed in the back. Oh, boy. I would have paid that one. Hawke. Cleverly, Paul Hawke straightens up, bang at goal and puts it through for a point. I thought that was a free kick to Kappa, and Kappa thought so too.
I can't afford to comment on situations like that because everybody says I'm biased if I say that. You have to call it as you see it, and I did agree with you. But we find Hawker. Thought about the hand pass. Now he's called play on. Hawker floats the ball in towards the centre. Scott tried to punch the ball away, and we find Essendon going forward through Keane. Keane puts the ball long, but there's no one home for the Bombers. As the rocket rod Carter's there, and Carter now 15-metre penalty. It's on again as Duckworth is behind play. There it is. Called play on though, so we're back with play, and the Swans not taking any notice as Scripp gives it across to Byrne. Byrne over the top to Bayes, back to Scripp. A goal coming up as Scripp puts it right through the centre.
Absolutely sensational play, and I think the Essendon players can continue to fight behind the play if they like, but all the Sydney players did then was move the ball down the ground while the Essendon defenders were worrying about pushing and shoving. A complete waste of time by the Essendon players, and they got their just desserts there when Terry Thipp finished the work off running into that open goal.
I agree with you, Barry, wholeheartedly in everything you said then. If Essendon concentrated on going and get the damn football instead of worrying about wrestling and pushing and shoving behind the play, they might do better. And the Swans, an object lesson for a side with their eyes on the ball and wanting to win this game. And the little men have been fantastic the way they're boring in after the ball.
10 goals, 3 to 2 straight for the quarter.
A sensational quarter. This is one of the best performances I've seen ever from the Sydney Swans. 24 minutes gone, second quarter, and a mammoth job now for the Bombers. That was Brett Scott. Now it's taken away in the centre of the ground by Mark Thompson. Up towards full forward. That Swans defence has been fantastic. Browning's in there after it, but I don't like this. I've never liked it. Now I know you get sick of me saying it, Bob. I don't like ruckman resting at full forward, and it's a liability.
Oh, hang on. Simon Madden's a bit different.
I don't care who rests there. It doesn't work.
1 in 10.
Spoken by the true full forward as Ian Robinson goes to the deck. Picked up by Darryl Cunningham. Hooked towards goal with Carter. Juggles a mark right on the line.
Where's the full forward?
Plays on immediately. Out wide. Missed by Tui. Kicked off the ground by Cordy. Francis couldn't quite take it. Players coming from everywhere. Over the boundary line it goes. Both sides pretty desperate, but the Swans really showing the way in this quarter with 10 goals to 2. It has been, as Peter McKenna said, a magnificent quarter of football, and the Swans, I think, with captain Dennis Carroll out, losing Coleman of last week, Greg Williams out with 1 week suspension, really showing a little bit of mantle today as it's taken by Healy from Bayes. An awkward looking kick. Tony Morwood tapped it on, smothered by Danaher off the boot of his teammate in Hamilton, and we find a pack forming. And Pete, I do agree with you, it is one of the best performances so far that I've seen from the Swans.
Well, look, to be quite honest, I thought undermanned, Greg Williams out, and injury doubts and other good players out, and I really thought Essendon would win this game. This is a fantastic performance, pure guts by the Swans, and ability too, of course, and they haven't got a weak link. I think you'd have to say at the moment, Bob, they're playing as a fantastic team.
They really are. An excellent team effort so far.
Well, 15-7 to 7-2 tells the story as Peter Francis under pressure all the time, and congratulations to the Swans, the pressure they're putting on. Bomber Thompson, half back. Even he was under pressure there, on the right foot to half forward. Chris Danaher could have been paid that mark. He's got it. Good play by the young fella. Back to Salmon. Salmon, a hand pass to Walsh. Walsh will probably go wide. He does. Now they're a chance because Mark Thompson's got it. 60 metres out. Madden ducks back, beats Carter for this one, takes the mark right in front of goal, and I'm not commenting, Bob.
Good to see the ruckman got it back.
That was good play because they got it out of the centre, quickly down to the full forward where Madden should kick this goal. Look at that for a record. Club best and fairest. 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Great Victorian and Essendon ruckman Simon Madden, and he boots it through for a badly needed goal.
That's the first piece of positive play we've had from the Essendon side in this quarter. They're allowed to move the ball down the ground, virtually uncontested, switch the play across to the other side of the ground through Walsh there, out to Bomber Thompson, who had all the time in the world to look for Simon Madden, resting at full forward, and took an easy mark. Simon Madden's stats, 274 VFL games, recruited from St Christopher's.
Pretty great record for a Catholic.
I thought you'd mention that.
From that school.
You played for the Catholics once.
Centre bounce. Salmon wins the tap. It comes wide. Tapped on by Walsh. He goes after it again. Walsh puts the ball out wide. Leading in the race for the ball is Chris Danaher. Well, I thought it might have been over the line, but he kept it in play with a hand pass. Cordy did well. Got it to Thrip. Out to Mitchell. Mitchell hooks the ball over the shoulder. Danaher gets rid of Bays, and we find Salmon picking the ball up under pressure. Tackled. Good play by Bays. So too against now. It's kicked off the ground by Salmon. It comes towards Merritt. Merritt taps the ball out, but Scott picks it up. Scott got the hand pass in. Salmon coming through. Scott diving in there with Merritt. Might have got into the back of Merritt. Merritt got the hand pass out. Clark loses it. Mitchell puts a short kick forward. It's punched away that time. Over the line it goes as David Johnston puts the ball over the boundary line.
I think a definite edge all over the ground in pace. Without a doubt, the Sydney Swans are a much quicker side. Look at the hit-outs. Just proves, we've been saying them,
that ruckman don't matter.
Well, we've been saying it to many former ruckmen over the years. They overrate themselves, ruckmen, at times.
No, look, I was being facetious there.
I know, a bloke like John Nichols or someone might help, but there's the handballs. Look at that.
I wish those South Australians would realise sometimes I can be facetious.
60-38. That was a Thrip getting down towards the half-forward line, or now at full forward with the bounce of the ball. Still in play as Kappa dives on it. And in fact, the boundary umpire said it was over the line. But the Swans' little men are fantastic. They're just roving to the opposition ruckman. 29.5 minutes gone. But the main thing is their desire to get that ball. Forward pocket, Neagle. Push in the back. Kappa threw it away. And eventually it's forced over the line deep in the forward pocket.
If it had been the other end of the ground, I think Neagle might have got a free kick then.
I think so. It was definitely a push.
From the throw-in. Bayes competing. Salmon wins the tap. Hurd takes it away. Gives the hand pass across to Terry Danaher, who drives the ball up towards centre wing. At the back, Duckworth. Racing after it. Francis Shepherds for Duckworth. Pushing the back. Must be paid to Duckworth as Terry Thrip gives away the free kick. And so one of the personalities of the game, former West Perth, Billy Duckworth, represented Western Australia last week in the State of Origin for the first game. A free kick has been found. It'll go to Mark Browning, the veteran of the Swan side.
That was against Daryl Cunningham, that. So he didn't really go for the mark. And there's Browning with that long raking kick. Oh, what a good mark by Terry Thrip. We talk about David Murphy. He's nearly as improved as David Murphy. Towards half forward, Healy has been worn very, very closely today by Shane Hurd. It wouldn't be easy to play on a bloke who's strong and plays as close as Shane Hurd.
Yeah, but Healy's done a great job today. He's well on top of Shane Hurd. Salmon gets the tap down, but it's well taken away by Mitchell. Beautifully rowed as Barry Mitchell puts the ball forward. Winton takes the mark. Puts the ball wide. Gavin Keane racing after it. Can he get there before the boundary? He does so. Keeps the ball in play. Hand passes to Hawker. Back to Keane. Good teamwork as it comes out to Hamilton. Hamilton from centre wing up towards half forward. Straight to Browning though. And Mark Browning takes the mark.
Essendon's half forward line, Bobby, has been annihilated.
They haven't got one.
Browning. Beautiful kick. Long. Forward at the back, judges it to perfection, used his body well, played on, gives it across to Neagle, dummies a hand pass, no, he's lost it. Picked up though by Healy, hand pass out. Scott coming after it, in comes Bayes to Shepherd. Scott tackled too high for mine. Now that is ridiculous.
I can't understand that decision whatsoever. Very hard to work out.
Hawker. Across it comes to Johnston. Oh, down. Did that bounce over the line?
No, it was out in the full.
It was on the full. Look at Kappa, the supreme optimist, trying to come in 5 metres. Now, Warwick Kappa was very close to the line. That kick, he's already kicked 4. And there's the Essendon little league side at the back, or in Essendon jumpers. Now, Kappa's kicked 4. Can he kick the miraculous one from the boundary line? He's creeping in. He runs back to the boundary line. Oh boy, has he kicked it, it's close. Just offline. Not a bad effort that by Warwick Kappa, and it's 1 point. Well, 15-8, plays 8-2, 7 goals, 6, so that's 8 goals are tremendously. Now Danaher, gee, they must get sick of these positional changes to Bomber Thompson, who marks at centre-half back. Danaher, he can play anywhere, and he's certainly playing anywhere today. He's played all up and down the ground.
Pete, do you think the Bombers are sick and tired of being moved around?
I think that could be a factor. I really do, Bob. I think they can't settle down. In one, Merritt was changed very, very early in the game, as you well know, as we see Tui. Oh, Bays should mark this now. Let's see the kicking ability here of Bays. Now Kappa's ducked back on Winton. Now Kappa over the back. Kappa has got it. It was no mark. Play on. In goes Winton, heads for the boundary line and puts it over the line in the forward pocket.
Throwing to take place. Forward pocket for the Swans on replay. Well, was it a mark, Barry?
No, I think it was a good decision, Bob. He's about third hands to the ball, I think.
Bays, high up. Hawker's in there. Was he pushing the back? Call play on as we find Salmon putting the ball forward. Tui's there to take almost a great mark. Couldn't quite take it on the second grab. And so the siren sounds, and at half-time we see the Sydney Swans 15 goals, 98, Essendon 8-2, 50. A magnificent quarter.
Vital third quarter. Can they come back, the Bombers? Because after a brilliant 10-goal second quarter, we see Byrne, who's done pretty well. He's battled hard against Madden. Centre of the ground. Terry Fripp, a very, very much improved player. Ezard's in after it. Centre wing, and it's a free kick for holding the man. Free kick to go to, in fact, to Alan Ezard.
So Ezard with the free kick drives the ball towards centre half forward. Cordy in front. The ball punched away. Healy forces it forward. It's intercepted. Could have been a free kick from mine to Essendon, as we saw Clark manhandled, and it's taken by Tripp. Tripp puts the ball out there. It's a lovely pass, pushing the back against Johnston, and Barry Mitchell out in front to take the mark.
The use of the ball of the Sydney Swans is A1 today, as Barry Mitchell, he's been an excellent player. To Kappa, Winton. Don't think he'll enjoy it coming back onto Kappa. He was well beaten early. Morwood dives on the ball, and the umpire said, "Oh, that's a lucky free kick," but he's got it. Tony Morwood fell on the ball, and the umpire Ian Robertson had a good view of it though, said he copped it too high. Mark Thompson on the mark, and this is exactly what Essendon do not want to start this quarter. He's yet to score a goal, Tony Morwood. Will kick from 50 metres. Is normally a very good kick for goal. Now he's chipping it short. That is magnificent football. That is intelligent play by Merv Neagle. He has been an outstanding player all day. He's kicked 2 against his old club. Morwood probably would have been doubtful at the distance, Barry.
Well, it was a long way out, Pete, and it would have been touch and go, and certainly now they've got the chance to make amends here and score a goal. Nagel playing extremely confidently at the moment, and makes no mistake with that. Straight through the middle. Another goal to Merv Neagle, and he's had a great game. There we see the score, 16-8, 104, 8-2-50 to Essendon. Swans started just the way they left off after that fine second quarter. I think Essendon are going to find it extremely difficult to get back into this game.
Excellent goal by Merv Neagle. 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 3 goals too. So he'd be quite happy. Neagle in a little bit of doubt before the game, after the game in Perth. Pulled up with a pretty sore knee, but he hasn't shown any of that soreness today. Madden got the tap, kicked off the ground by Healy. Danaher got the ball forward. Walsh runs straight into trouble. Can't get the ball clear, and umpire Robinson decides that he'll bounce the ball again about 10 metres wide of the centre circle. Official attendance here today, 24,199 people. Probably a little bit disappointing, seeing that it's Essendon, as we had a very big crowd here last year against the Bombers. Byrne wins the tap down. It's Elshaw who drives the ball forward. Bolton waited for it to come to him instead of going in, but it's Tui who gets the ball across to Browning. And so Henwood and Merritt had a bit of a dip behind play. The ball comes down now towards Mitchell. A hand pass across to Holden. Holden puts the ball out in front of Kappa. Doesn't make Kappa, but it's a mark nonetheless to the Swans as Paul Hawke judged it to perfection. And Hawke playing an excellent game for the Swans. But, well, you see the judgment of Hawke on that occasion. And Clark not getting anywhere near it. Hawke goes goalward, and brings up his first goal.
Really, the whole Swans side at the moment playing with extreme confidence, and that situation there was a pretty touch-and-go mark there with Hawke. Clark right on his hammer, but just so confident in keeping his eye on the ball and taking it at the second grab. Great piece of work again by Paul Hawke.
Looks like a very happy couple of Swan supporters there. 110 to 50. 60 points, the margin in favour of the Swans.
They played that song enough today for you, Bob. There's Madden, centre of the ground. Oh, gee, Tui's been good, tough and reliable as usual. Hawker punches it away, but look at that. Stevie Wright, Brett Scott, beautiful football, Brett Scott. Now Kappa and Winton. Oh, once again he was watching Kappa, and that was dangerous play. Danaher comes off his hands. That's in the back. It has to be a free kick to Paul Hawke. No, said the umpire. He called play on. Oh, gee, I really felt that was a free, Barry.
Well, it certainly does make a difference if they're within yards or metres of the goal. And here, Tommy Hafey, I think just a slight smile on his face there, Pete. He looks reasonably calm at the moment, and so he should be.
Coaches aren't allowed to spoil junior game.
It was a free kick too, I thought, as the ball comes back to the pocket. Grabbed by Clark, wide. Gavin Keane, back pocket. The little men have been annihilated today, Essendon. Elshaw receives from Hawker to Hurd, back to Elshaw. That's what they need. That's better football to Chris Danaher, who races down the ground, but Cordy's got too much pace. Brilliant skills, Neil Cordy. Tremendous football, and he centres it. Well, he actually brings it wide. Oh, the big fly was by Bayes. In they go after it. Hawke was there. Strong tackle was by Keane. Punched away by Hurd. He was looking for Elshaw, but coming in and helping out is Bomber Thompson. Over to Elshaw. This is where they've been falling down. Hand pass to Danaher. Back to Elshaw. Here's a chance for a goal. He hurries his kick, though, under enormous pressure, puts it through for a point.
I thought that was very poor play by Elshaw then in the finish. Like, you know, when you're a rover and you're in a circumstance like that, I really believe that you have to steady and take the bit between the teeth. Has come short to Scott, that time from Carter. Hamilton does well to gain possession. Well tackled though. The loose ball picked up by Thompson. The hand pass out to Merritt. Essendon going forward as Merritt puts a long kick up in the air. Bolton punches the ball away. It's tapped on that time. Over the line it goes from Tui, and good defensive work by Bernard Tui and David Bolton. 110 to 51 in favour of the Swans. 6.5 minutes into the third term. Umpire McDonald playing it against Chris Danaher. Browning takes it, gives it across to Cordy. Cordy trying to draw Salmon to him. Now he gives it out. Not a good hand pass. Almost overrun. Not good play that time by the Swans as Ezard picks it up. Gives it a shocking hand pass. Put Walsh under all sorts of pressure. Hurd puts it forward. Essendon, well, they're panicking at the moment as we found Healy putting the ball forward, and Essendon really showing signs of a team under real pressure as Gavin Keane picks it up. Back onto the left foot he goes. Short, finds Hurd, and Hurd just steadies. Gives it back to Keane. Keane across the ground. Hawker misses it. Under pressure. One way, then the other. Tackle by Neagle. Back to Keane. They floats the ball forward. Tui takes the mark. And so Bernard Tui, plenty of courage, gives the hand pass to Bolton. Into the centre he comes. Drives it long. And Bayes takes a nice mark. Now he stood his ground well.
Well, that was terrific. And Bayes has also done some good shepherding. Now he should have a shot for goal here as he lines up, and there's the booming kick by Bayes. No doubt about the distance, but just offline and through for a point. But I think he should have steadied and gone back and taken his time there, Barry.
He could have got the distance quite easily there, Pete, because he is a top kick of the football, and I think he realised he was that close.
Winton to half-back. What a brilliant mark by Tony Morwick. Kappa's about to lead. He does. Up in front, Kappa over the back is Winton. Was it a mark? Yes, said umpire Robinson.
Credit where it's due. Since coming back on, Winton's done well.
Yes, and Clark from defence, wide. Johnston, he kicks it wide also, and he's found a teammate there in Thompson. Back it comes. Danaher's had a quiet day, Terry Danaher. His brother Chris lines up and looks for... Oh, good play, Carter. fantastic play. Don't worry about that, Paul. He out-bustled you, and no doubt about that, Barry. That was no free kick.
No free kick at all there, Pete. He just stood his ground, and Salmon just couldn't stand on his feet.
He's terrific, Bob, isn't he?
Rocket Rod
Carter.
He's been great. Short passes, and it's Tui. The hand pass intercepted by the umpire, and it comes to Cunningham. Tui coming in, dives after it. Bolton lends support. Hand passes over. Henwood takes it away. Good play by the Swans defence as Henwood hooks it wide. It's Hurd against Gerard Healy. Healy puts it forward, gathers it in well, one way then the other, gets past the tackle. Excellent football by Gerard Healy. Puts it up wide, Bayes up high. It's taken by Murphy. Murphy gives the hand pass across to Scott. Scott steadies. It'll be a free kick downfield. That's foolish play. That's schoolboy stuff. And that's the way Essendon are playing at the moment.
Just completely undisciplined football, Bob, and there's absolutely no excuse for that sort of thing, as we see on the replay there. Nothing at all achieved by that, except maybe a goal of the Swans, and in my mind he should be taken off the ground.
4 goals so far by Warwick Kappa.
Well, it looks tough, doesn't it, Barry?
Well, that's what we were talking about at half-time, wasn't it? Looks tough.
Kappa goes towards goal. Poor kick from Warwick Kappa. So 4 goals, 3 on the board to Warwick Kappa out of 17 goals. 9 or 10 now. With it goes to 112 to 8452. And there it is again. Young Johnson should learn from that one. But that's not good play. Byrne, too quick with a hand pass. It went too high. It comes out to Hurd. Hurd comes across the ground now. Holden from behind. Can't take the mark, neither can the Essendon players, as Keane comes in. Beautifully picked up by Hawke, across to Holden. Downfield he goes, and it's taken by Bayes. Now this time I feel Bayes will definitely go back and line up for the goal.
Well, that was fantastic play by Holden. In fact, I think that was meant for Tony Moore. He saw him out of the corner of his eye, hooked it back, but he had an option of 2. Terrific play by Holden. Bayes, one of the best kicks in league football as far as distance. Hooks that one slightly though and puts it through for a behind. But the significant thing is that Essendon, Barry, are making no impression on the Swans.
None whatsoever, Pete, and I think they're just getting more frustrated as the quarter goes on, as you can see in some of their actions on the field.
Al Shaw, now that was to Danaher, into the back of Hamilton. Did he pay it? No. Fripp, a chance for Bayes to redeem himself. Bang, and there's another one. Beautiful play to the Swans.
As someone used to say, look, the Swans are so committed at the moment, Bob. They're locking that ball in the forward line, and it doesn't matter who's in the area from the Essendon team, whether it's Merritt or some of the other bigger players. They've just got their eyes for that ball only, and Bayes finishes that work off there. And as someone said, if you don't mind, that was a great kick.
Peter, you said before you thought the Bombers should go for the ball more.
Well, 18-11 plays 8-4. I think they've been shown a lesson in desperation today, and desperation where it's concerned, and that is eyes on the ball and charging in after.
As Barry said before, it's what we said at half-time.
Yes, we talked about courage and guts. People think people that run around sniping. I'm not referring that Essendon are. They're being outclassed in football today, but they're second to the ball, and Swan's an object lesson to any young kids watching. Umpire Ian Robertson saying that it's his ball and he'll bounce it. This is, I thought, without Greg Williams in the centre, as we see Trevor Spencer warming up. Greg Williams, Dennis Carroll, I really thought they'd struggle today, but this has been a brilliant performance. This Terry Fripp, a huge improver, this player. Brilliant skills, nearly collected one round the head. He feeds it out beautifully to Browning. Browning, a magnificent pass to Tony Morwood. And this is champagne football by the Swans. The lead is made by Kappa. Out he comes, Winton pushes him away, and over the line it goes in the forward pocket. Craig Holden has time to have a smile. And Warwick Kappa, as Bobby Skilton said earlier, has developed into a fine team player. Forward pocket. Holden was beaten badly early. Now, was that a throw or in the back, or what was it?
I don't agree with that at all.
No, I didn't think it was either, but Shane Hurd across the face of goal to Al Shaw, but they've been fiddling around with the ball. Look, again they've got themselves into that situation where they've got to desperately get out of it. A short pass from Hurd. Now they've messed it up, and they're mucking around with the ball. Fripp to Mitchell. Mitchell, a high floater. Who can take the mark? Paul Salmon's there. Oh, taken away brilliantly. Great play. Healy, tremendous football, and he's put it through for a goal.
Healy is absolutely having a great game, despite the close attention from Shane Hurd, but he is really a great player. The Swans really just at the moment can't do a thing wrong, as we see there on replay. Essendon fiddling about with the ball. Swans, bang, goal.
Barry, when you're supposed to have as many good marks as Essendon, can you understand that fiddling around?
Well, I think they're just really struggling for confidence at the moment, Bob, and they really don't know what to do once they get the ball. They're standing still, they're not moving.
Gerard Healy, we just saw his stats on screen, and a beautiful goal there by Healy, 125 to 52. Salmon wins the tap from the centre, but it's taken away once again by Paul Hawke. The hand pass wide, couldn't be taken by Thripp, but he's well supported, and Wright puts the ball forward. Johnston comes in, the hand pass across now to Hawker. Hawker steadies, goes out towards half forward. Cordy punches the ball away. Browning comes in to lend support. Forced it forward. It was kicked off the ground by Keane. Over the boundary line it goes, and a throw-in to take place. Half forward flank for Essendon, who are on 8-4-52. Swans 19-11, 125, 15 minutes into the term. Merritt gets it down, but it's forced forward that time by Cordy. Taken by Scott across the Holden, back to Scott again. Up to the forward line it goes. Punched away by Johnston. Over the line, and a throw-in this time on the half-forward line, well, midway between half-forward and forward pocket for the Swans.
I think this is proving that the Sydney Swans, there's Kevin Chitty, doesn't look too worried. I think he must be shell-shocked, 36 to 15 in the hit-outs. And I think this is proving once again that the Sydney Swans are a genuine premiership contender this year. Everyone talks particularly about Carlton and Hawthorn. I think you have to put this side right up there, Bobby.
On a particular day, with the players they've got out of the side, and, you know, I think all of us really thought Essendon would be in with a real chance and probably winners. I personally did before the game. And the Swans, I think, are putting up one of their best performances of all time as Duckworth gets it out. Hamilton with a hand pass into the centre. Thompson takes it, gives a hand pass. A waste of time, that one. Only made a chance of things. Clark puts the ball out. Kicked off the ground by Carter. Carter, it's taken by Keane. Bolton's after him. Keane comes across the ground, and this time it's a mark to Clark. But I thought in the centre that time it was a waste of time, that extra handball.
I can't understand for the life of me, Bob, why Bomber Thompson just runs down the ground. He's waiting for someone to come and collect the ball off him instead of just saying, well, I'm clear, bang, and kick it into the goal square. I can't understand why they wait for players to come up in support when they're clear.
Neil Clark goes goalward. It's a lovely looking kick. Might have got through without being touched. Full points to Neil Clark.
Well, that goal could have happened a lot sooner for mine if Thompson had to kick the ball into the goal square. They had to mess around for 3 or 4 other touches before they finally got a chance to kick it goal through the agency there of Neil Clark. But just very, very wasteful football.
And I don't think it helps when your forward line has been absolutely annihilated. And they've got some big names up forward. It's not as if you're talking about ordinary players. You're talking about big names, and they're being thrashed by a great defence. 19-11 plays 9-4. Mitchell has been fantastic. Down towards the half-forward line. And it's sheer desperation. Look at Stevie Wright, bottom of the pack. Strong tackle. Out to Mitchell. Wide to Bays, and Mark Bays in on the right foot. Stabs at goal, and was a bad miss because really he was clear and could have done whatever he liked there. 19-12. Plays 9-4.
Maybe the players around didn't tell him.
No, that's right. Talking is most important in football, and we're not out there, and we can't tell whether the players said anything. Winton to Big Salmon. Salmon takes the mark. There hasn't been enough of those today by the big fellas. Paul Hamilton. Billy Duckworth caught. Paul Hamilton again, but under pressure. Browning a clever mark. Kicks it wide. Now Elshaw's got the pace here to get right away from Terry Thripp. Let's see if he has any backup support. He's got it. Tremendous play, Thripp. A great tackle that was. A fantastic effort, Terry Thripp on centre wing.
A magnificent tackle. Now he goes on with a short pass. Finds Morwood. Morwood puts it out to Toohey. Toohey looks for the lead, but Winton's doing a fine job now against Kappa. Now, Kappa wasn't committed enough to that lead. It was half-hearted, and it wasn't good play by Warwick Kappa. As we find the kick coming across now to Clark. Clark Tick off the side of the boot. Keane a good effort, not Keane, Johnson a good effort. He gets support from Keane. Keane floats the ball forward, down there, and a nice mark taken by Danaher. It's Chris Danaher. Goes across to the centre. Walsh is there, couldn't take the mark. Tui, Scott taps the ball forward. Byrne, a lovely piece of shepherding, allows Scott to give the hand pass to Cordy. On now, and we find Holden putting the ball forward. It's punched away now from Healy, taken by Mitchell. Mitchell goes short across the ground. Warwood thought about going on, but then realised he was within kicking distance, and so steadied. And Tony Morwood goes short. Barry Mitchell will play on into the open goals, and this is poor football by Essendon. No defence whatsoever.
As Bob said there, shocking defence from the Essendon side. Sydney 2012 132 to Essendon 9458, but just no commitment to run there whatsoever, and no commitment to pick up Barry Mitchell as he ran through the lines there to collect that easy goal. Holden chipped across to Morwood, punched away there from Healy. Mitchell again collects the ball across to Morwood, and as Mitchell keeps running through, no one collected him.
Well, that's why they're such a good side. Unselfish football, that by the Sydney Swans, and that's why they are such a great side. 2012 plays 9-4. That was very poor defence. Uncommitted were the Essendon defenders there. They did not pick up Mitchell, didn't bother, and it cost them a goal. As we see, centre of the ground, a long hand pass comes straight out there to Tui. Tui's been like a rock of Gibraltar down there. Hamilton comes in over the top. Darryl Cunningham back to Hamilton. Hamilton has it smothered. Merv Neagle's had an excellent day against his former club. There's Billy Duckworth. He hasn't had a good day, Billy. Trying hard, of course, as he always does. Diving in on it was Merv, and then got there, realised that you're not allowed to dive on the ball, and elected to hit it out. So
no, that was how what it's meant to do.
Yeah, that
Neagle
was good.
Dived after it and then tapped the ball forward.
And then he realised, I think, when he got there, and he tapped it.
From the bounce, cross half forward. Spencer gets the tap. Neil Cordy takes the ball away, puts it up towards the centre of the ground. Bad bounce from Morwood. Hamilton doing well in this quarter. Gets it out to Keane. Keane a hand pass to Hawker. Back to Keane. From 45 metres he goes towards goal. Touched, I think, by Rod Carter, and that's exactly as it is. So 1 point the result.
But I still reckon they went a handball too many then, Bob. Instead of booting it quickly down to their tall timber, they've now got Walsh at full forward. So they've had big problems up forward right from the start of the game. There's Carter bringing it towards half back. In fact, they've had problems all over the ground, particularly forward line. Hawker. Oh, gee, nothing's going right for him now. There's Paul Salmon. Drops it. Hawker in after it. Back it comes to Merritt. He's had a quiet day, Roger Merritt. He's got a few mates, though. It's knocked away back towards Merritt or Spencer. It was Spencer, in fact. Knocked away again. That's Swans' defence, Bob. Barry, you've got to admit, it's been fantastic.
They don't let up, Pete, do they? They just keep attacking that ball, putting pressure on their opponents at every particular stage.
And the player who tapped it away then was Wayne Henwood, and he's been a tower of strength. Made a great recovery since Wednesday when he was injured in the state game, playing for Western Australia. His first time as a State of Origin performer. Last year he came from Glenelg after a couple of years in the Premiership team with Glenelg in South Australia, but originally from South Fremantle. 24 years of age, so still only a boy from a football point of view, but has been a tower of strength, as I said before, for the Swans this year, and that's Wayne Henwood. Tony, Peter Quirk preparing to come on the ground. Byrne wins the tap down. Scott, who's been an excellent player in the centre for the Swans today. The hand pass came out from Keane. Likewise Spencer. Ezard takes it. Dispossessed of the ball. Hawker comes in for Essendon. The left foot kick from Hawker. A real high floater. Walsh and Carter. Punched away by Carter. Taken by Hawke. The blind turn. Ducks past it. Under pressure, and he did cop one too high, I think, according to the umpire. He's got two players up the ground. He finds Tripp. Tripp balks back. Straightens up, gets past the tackle. Would have got a trip anyway, but hand passes over to Browning. He's got time for one bounce. Now he steadies. He'll go long up towards the square. Kappa in front. Can't take the mark. Healy towards goal. It's another.
3 goals to Gerald Healy, and he's had a top game here today, but just the way the Swans moved that ball down the ground, and just off the screen there we saw one of the Essendon players nearly Kalua. We'll not see it here on replay. Again, he missed. Toughness, and Mark Browning, a fine kick into the goal square, enabled that goal to be set up for Healy.
Well, that's a very clever goal, that, as you see, Healy. He's an intelligent player, but as you called it, Barry, I think Roger Merritt tried to run through the Swans player with aggression. Back to the centre, 21-12 to 9-5. Essendon should make the aggression on the ball. Here's another one coming up.
Goal.
Bayes straightens up Mark Bayes. What a beautiful kick. What a great goal. Kicked by Mark Bayes, and that's his third.
There's certainly no stopping the Swans now. But that was just a great piece of work again from the centre of the field. It isn't Mark Bayes, just a classic half-forward flanker with that long raking left foot, and it's just a picture to watch. It really is.
Walsh again being shifted. Walsh up to centre half forward. Salmon down to full forward. Essendon moving their players willy-nilly all over the ground.
That won't help.
You're against that, are you?
I'm completely against it. They've been doing it for 2 years, back and forward. How can you settle down if you're... Admittedly, they move around when they're 10 goals in front.
You think the players don't like it?
I'm certain they don't like it. I'm positive of it. And there's a couple of happy supporters, and no wonder. And, well, he's not too happy. You can say that again.
He's
but
falling asleep.
I think you've got to get your combination. You've got to stick by it. I'd have Danaher down at full forward. They need someone to kick goals. They need a medium-sized player. The big fellas down there aren't firing. As we see, Henwood has been fantastic. They haven't had a weak link. Danaher is now on the half-back line. Played everywhere today. Terry, Hurd, hurried kick out of defence. Oh, that's a good... that should have been paid to Walsh. Not paid, but Brownie's been a good player. He'll probably keep his place in the side too. That's a good tackle by Holden, an excellent tackle. Paul Hawke's been excellent. Peter Quirk's come on the ground. He's going to get into the action now. Kicks it wide to the boundary, and a very clever kick. Yes, sees it go over the line. He'd be quite happy with that.
It was a fine kick. He had nobody to give it to, and he knew exactly what he was doing as he went wide. 144 to 59. 26 minutes into the quarter as Browning takes it. Nearly caught one, but it didn't quite connect with him, and so Scott comes out. Got dispossessed. Hamilton gives it across now to Cunningham. Cunningham's kick towards the half-forward line. Quirk comes out. Ezard first on the scene, though. Gathers it well. Hand pass over the tops, intercepted by Cordy. Cordy straightens up. Kick smothered, but it comes to the Swans in Holden. Holden puts it wide. Hawke gets a favourable bounce. Trapped it beautifully. Not a good-looking kick, and it goes straight to Terry Danaher. Danaher's kicked back into the centre. An awkward bounce that time for Hawker. Favours Holden. Taps the ball on. Picked up by Wright. Wright tapped on by Hawke. Hawke takes it across to Mitchell, across the ground. Healy couldn't quite take the mark. Winton and Danaher, and not Danaher, it was Kappa. Picked up though now by Healy. Healy has the ball taken away, but he gets good support by Thripp. Thripp gets past the tackle, goes in towards goal. Beautiful play, Terry Thripp.
Well, that's his second, Bob, and that's one of the goals of the year. Not one of the goals of the day, one of the goals of the year. A fantastic individual effort. What's this? Some gutsy play too by Kappa. Healy was fantastic, went in after it. Look at the speed of Thripp, get away those two players. Heads his way through a couple of players. Sheer determination. What a great goal that was. Can they kick 30 again, Bob?
Great goal, and Billy Duckworth just giving him a little friendly tap on that occasion.
I think the Bombers lack pace. I think that's what's being shown out today. But I reckon the Swans might kick another record score, Bob, the way they're going.
Keane. The hand pass. Taken by Johnson, but beautifully smothered by Cordy. Tapped out by Johnson, but it's intercepted by Scott. Scott goes forward. Tony Morwood takes the mark. The Swans doing as they like. They kicked 10 goals, 4 to 3 goals in the second quarter. So far in this quarter, they've added 8 goals, 4 to Essendon's 1 goal, 3. So it's been a magnificent performance by the Swans. And I'm not being biased when I say today's effort is one of the best I have seen by those players out there as it's forced through. 1 point the result, but you can't give enough credit to the Swans today, Pete.
No, I agree entirely, Bob. I must admit I tipped Essendon, and so did you. I think Barry did too, didn't he? So And a lot of scribes have picked them today because of the injuries, but there's a mark. They're big men. That is a mark to Kevin Walsh. Their big men just haven't done enough, and I certainly don't think they've had enough support from their smaller players, and their smaller players have let them down badly right throughout the year, as we see Kevin Walsh towards centre wing. Merritt. Oh, they're just defending so well. Stephen Wright. David Bolton. Couldn't get away with it. The umpire will come in. Oh, he really didn't have much chance there. He was trying to grab it, wasn't he, Bob? And the ball went loose, so it shouldn't have been paid against him, but it was.
I suppose occasionally they make a mistake. As the lead comes from Salmon, punched away by Carter. Beautiful defence once again. He's been superb as usual. Only one goal so far to Paul Salmon. His previous 2 games, 11 and 9.
Well, that just shows how good Rod Carter is. And you talk about Victoria, how he hasn't played for Victoria has got me beaten.
Oh, well, that's only because of Gary Pert in the first place and then Chris Langford. So, you know, you can't...
But Carter's performed better than any fullback in the league for the last 5 years.
Rod Carter has been magnificent, but you can only play one fullback. And it's been nothing against Carter that he hasn't got the job. Byrne gives the ball about to Wright. Wright floats it forward. Danaher, it's kicked off the ground by Scott. Scott goes after it again. Couldn't quite gain possession. The hand cast comes from Spencer. Hamilton was under pressure, but he gets a free kick. And so Paul Hamilton will come out with the free kick. Hamilton now goes for the short pass. Browning taps the ball away. Nice blind turn. The hand pass came from Hawker across to Walsh. Breaks the first tackle. Puts it out wide to Nobby Clark, who goes goalward. A nice looking kick. And the Bombers bring up a goal. 2 goals to Neil Clark.
Well, a belated goal. Look at the score. 10-5 to 23-13. As we see in replay, Glenn Hawker. But even there, the Swans putting pressure on. They're still trying to tackle. Look at them chasing. And they were good enough to get the goal, Essendon, but at no stage in that passage of play did the Swans give up. And I think that just shows how well they are coached to tackle, never give up, chase, pressure, and that's why they're a good side. 86 points the lead by the Sydney Swans.
Well, Trevor Spencer in the ruck now as Tommy Hafey has quite a happy look at the situation. And once again, Essendon give away a free kick. Now, for mine, there's no excuse for that. This mad rush to get into the centre when the blokes who rush don't get the ball anyway. Morwood up high, but he's beaten for it this time by Danaher. And so Terry Danaher will come out with the mark and a 15-metre penalty. Danaher goes short and finds Cunningham. Cunningham with a hand pass across to Hamilton. Hamilton puts the ball forward as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. And at the three-quarter time break, Swans 23-13, 151, leading Essendon 10-5-65. And it's all left to play. 151 to 65 in favour of the Sydney Swans. Madden against Byrne. Byrne has rucked right throughout the day. Essendon have used a number of players as Healy thumps it forward, but Byrne caught one too high, and so he'll take the free kick.
Simon Madden ran straight at Michael Byrne, then didn't even look at the ball and just gave him one in the mush.
It's been a courageous effort by Byrne. He's been bleeding from the start of the game almost, and so Michael Byrne puts the ball out wide. Henwood is led down from half-back. Now, this is Essendon at its worst. Now, Wayne Henwood is centre half-back. Roger Merritt decided that he'd be the man on the mark, and Byrne's not too good back behind play. And with Merritt on the mark, Henwood took the bet and went down the ground. Kick dropping short. Couldn't be taken there by Mitchell. The hand pass comes out. Stevie Wright tried to give it across to Neagle. Taken there and hand pass a blind one there by Clark. Thripp lost it. Taken by Hawke from Scott. Scott loses it. The loose ball comes out. Tackled against, too high against the Swans. Should have been a free kick, but none forthcoming. A little bit of head hunting by the Bombers as Michael Byrne comes across the ground. He's not going to come off. 50 metres out from the Swans' goal. Bayes doing the ruck work. No clear tap from Madden. Spencer looking for the free kick. Swooping on it, Mitchell. gives the ball out now to Healy. Healy drives the ball long. In front is Kappa, punched away though by Winton. And as I said earlier, to give Winton his credit, Kappa kicked 4 goals early in the piece. But since Winton came back onto the ground, he's done an excellent job.
Well, he only actually has kicked 2 goals of those 4 on Winton. So full marks to Brian Winton for fighting back, particularly as they've been under a lot of pressure now. Here's Merv Neagle against his former club, hooking it back now. Neagle's been an excellent player today, as usual. He's kicked 3 goals, 3, Merv Neagle. And there he is, a real goer, Merv, and a real colourful player too. One of the great characters in league football. Towards half back it comes. That's a big mark, and they haven't taken too many of them today, the Bombers. That was Trevor Spencer over the top of the pack. Spencer. They've tried many players in the ruck today, the Bombers, and it hasn't worked out. Now here's Izzard as he kicks it wide. Chris Danaher. Slow to move then, Chris, but he finally gets there. Brother of Terry. Beautiful tackle, Cordy. And allows Browning to come through, dodge around, onto the left foot goes Browning and proceeds to put it out of bounds on the full. Or was that smothered? There's a bit of a fight going on, close to the line. And, well, I'm sure the umpires have. Look at the umpire, Shane McDonald, heading for his notebook there. And I don't think he's reported anyone, has he? Let's see.
I think it's going to be a free kick to Essendon.
Bolton, he's taken Bolton's number now. If it goes Essendon's way, that is a silly report by David Bolton at this stage of the game. Now let's see what happens. Bolton, well, you can see why he got upset, and it's going...
Well, I think if there is a report, it's for Bolton actually pushed the player into the fence, and that's why I think it's a report. So it's Roger Merritt who got pushed into the fence, and, well...
Poor old Roger. I think it hurt the fence more than it hurt Roger.
You said that a bit cynically then.
Well, what I mean is I think Roger's able to dish it out in his time, isn't he?
I don't think Roger will complain.
No, he's fantastic. He has a go.
Roger Merritt, much to the hoots of the crowd, goes short, and a well-placed pass goes straight into the hands of Trevor Spencer. Now, Spencer will be kicking from a 50-metre line. Hasn't had a big impact on today's game. You can see the stats for yourself. 152 to 65 the score as Trevor Spencer puts a high kick in the air. It's offline, and is it over the boundary line? No, it's through for 1 point. Well, 1 point to the Bombers. It's 10-6, their first score in this quarter. 4.5 minutes have gone, and the Swans with a point as well, so we still have the 86-point margin between the sides. Kick dropping short, an awkward bounce for Quirk. Browning gets a favourable bounce, goes now down towards the half-forward line, the ball floating out in front. We find Mitchell losing possession. Johnston taps the ball over the boundary line, and David Johnson, the youngster, only about 18 years old, has really kept trying right throughout the day. But it's a throw-in midway between half-forward and forward. Well, 41 to 19 the hit-outs, 42 to 19 now, but it means nothing when the little men such as Wright and Mitchell and Healy and you name it, Scott in the centre, and those players have continued to take the ball away.
Well, have a look at the kicks. Well, you can see how much they've dominated this game, the Sydney Swans, and very, very impressive performances. Madden has battled hard in the ruck without the support of the little fellas, and well, I think the Bombers, until they do something around the packs, handballs, well, not a lot in that, but I'd say definitely, Barry, that the Sydney Swans handballs have been far more effective.
Oh, I've used them much better, Pete, in general play.
There's Healy. To Mitchell. Was it in the back? No, said the umpire. Hamilton's in there after it. To Johnston. Back to, gee, this player's improved. Terry Thripp, a greatly improved player. He's already kicked 2. Too far out to score a goal, I would think. Madden's gone back to the goal square on to help Whitten out against Kappa. Now, going to go for the high one. Oh, it's not a bad-looking drop punt. It made the distance all right. A beautiful kick. It went through by 10 metres, but unfortunately just offline. 23-15. Plays 10-6, and this is an absolute hiding. Winton from the back pocket as he played on. Oh, it's an ordinary kick as it goes straight. Brett Scott Tops it too high. It'll be a free kick to Scott. Off he goes. And the racehorse David Bolton runs to the 50-metre line. Tony Morwood will mark this. Oh no, his teammate came in over the back. Is it Paul Hawke? Let's see. Morwood would have marked it. Hawke came in over the back, took it straight out of his hands, and this will be another one of the Swans. Paul Hawke has been an outstanding player today. 1 goal he's kicked. They raffled that one right in front. Bang! And it's another one. His second, and the Swans are killing it.
He made no mistake there, but that was started off there further up the ground by Brett Scott, who committed himself to the ball, and that really has been the tone of the whole game for the Sydney Swans. Players committed at the ball, and certainly Brett Scott today has made the most of his opportunities as we see Paul Hawke win the raffle there and kick an easy goal.
As I agree with you, Barry, I think Brett Scott has had the opportunity coming in with Williams and being out and really made the most of it. Madden against Byrne. The bounce favours Byrne. Forces the ball forward, couldn't get it clear. Madden likewise kicked off the ground by Scott once again, but the diving mark this time taken by Terry Danaher.
Danaher has been up and down the only in the key positions, hasn't played in the centre of the ground, but he's been just about everywhere else, although he mightn't have played a full back. But there's Gavin Keane. Oh, gee, taken away beautifully by the Swans. That's a 50-metre punch away by Henwood, and it allows 2 Sydney Swans players to raffle it. Steve Wright, beautiful. Oh, gee, just running underneath it was Hawke. Taken away by Hurd, but straight into the hands of Mitchell. Mitchell punches it away. The Essendon players took their eyes off that one. Neagle gets it back to Toohey, and Toohey from 50 metres. Capper at the back. Punched away by Winton and forces it through for a behind of the Sydney Swans.
Sydney 24-16, 160, leading the Bombers 10-6, 66.
Excellent performance by the Swans today as Winton floats the ball forward. Tapped on as first to his strip. Well tackled, but got the hand pass in nonetheless. Duckworth kicks it off the ground. Browning stood his ground well and got the free kick. And so good play, Mark Browning. An excellent piece of football there. On replay, you saw why he got the free kick. Now the long kick from Browning at the back. Morwood judged it to perfection. Was the only player there with the judgment on that occasion. Eye on the ball, other players went underneath it, and Tony Morwood, a perfect piece of judgment.
Bobby, I think you'd have to call that ability, wouldn't you, to read that? It was sheer ability.
You can't call the kick that, because he's offline.
Lack of ability. No, but that was, I reckon he knew Browning kicked one of those long, low floaters, and he just ducked over the back.
That was the word, Pete, it was a floater.
Well, there's the kick from Winton, who stuck to his task well. Kappa looked very dangerous early. Healy, a very skillful player. So is Mitchell. Spencer should have gone for the ball instead of trying to unload his opposition. Beautiful hand pass, Hawke. Healy will run in from 40 metres out. Oh, what a kick. Beautiful goal. Gerard Healy's kick 4.
What can you say? It's been in the call there said that Spencer went for the man, and that really has been the story of the day. Essendon players concentrating more on the opposition than the ball and the job at hand, and Hawke knocking the ball out to Healy had all the time in the world, and that was a great kick and well-deserved goal. He's had a great game, Healy.
Certainly has.
And here we see
21
statistics.
possessions. Was Gerard Healy, you saw there, the number 3. He's had Shane Hurd tagging him, but he's, well, just disposed of the tag. He's kicked 4 goals himself and been a superb player. Merritt's kick smothered. Scott gets a short kick in, well trapped by Byrne. A lovely hand pass to Mitchell, likewise across to Bolton. Bolton goes goalward. I don't think it was touched. A lovely goal of David Bolton.
Just a fantastic piece of teamwork again by the Sydney Swans. Again, good defensive work to smother there at the centre bounce. As we see on replay, Bolton finishing off the work. But what a great piece of reflex hands by Michael Byrne there in the centre of the ground who got the ball out initially. Great work.
Well, they're a very, very exciting football side now. Kevin Walsh has had I reckon, one of his worst days ever. He's been on and off the ground and really just hasn't got into the game. Daryl Cunningham's back on. They've made enormous changes and none of them have worked today for the Bombers. In they go after it, the Swans, and a good thing, Tommy Hapey must be pleased, Bob, the way they don't let up, do they? When they get a side down, they crush them.
Well, let's give full marks to Tommy Hapey in that regard too. And he's on the phone at the moment. He's got Thomas alongside him, Dennis Carroll, John Reid behind him. But let's give credit for the way the team's performing. I know there were a lot of people say that coaches don't matter much, but and you've got to have the players. I agree you have to have the players, but the coach still has to have them performing.
And I think he's got them absolutely super fit this side, and they can really run on. As we see, Browning's had a good day as he hooks that back, and Kappa uncontested. That is unbelievable, isn't it? Uncontested. Brian Whitten, I don't know whether he lost sight of it, he just stood back in the goal square and didn't run in. Well, he's kicked 4, Kappa. At the end he was contested when it was all over by Shane Hurd. He got one right in the ear, Warwick Kappa. If that wasn't 15 metres, I don't know what was. What do you reckon? Was that 15 metres, Bob? He got punched right in the head. Well, there's Kappa.
You wouldn't call it a punch, would you?
Well, you know what I mean. He contacted his head, so it should have been 15. There's Warwick. Goal number 5. Gone.
Mark Browning's had a great day. He got that ball down very quickly to Kappa. We see Sheedy on camera there, and he obviously can't be very impressed with his side today. Again on replay, Kappa eyes on the ball, and that was a strong mark.
Kevin Sheedy not too happy at all.
I love watching Kappa. He's so flamboyant. He tried to con the umpire, and it was almost a knockout blow. Well, here's Brett Scott. Let's see where Kappa is. He should mark this. He ducks back. Whitten was there. Hurd backs up beautifully. Oh, danger though. Terry Danaher under pressure, heads for the line.
Barry, I reckon Scott's performance in the centre has been magnificent.
We often say about the lack of depth in the Swan side, but certainly over the past 3 or 4 weeks you can't put that at them because they have covered all positions extremely well.
Mitchell takes the ball from Bayes, goes goal. That's a lovely goal of Barry Mitchell, his third.
There's absolutely no stopping the Swans now. Everything they touch turns to goal, but they've earned that. They've worked hard right from the first bounce, and everything they attempt at the moment is just coming off superbly. As we saw, Bayes just hooked the ball back to Barry Mitchell and a great snap at goal. Fantastic football from the Swans.
Sorry, Barry, I think once again the question's got to be asked, can Sydney break their all-time record again? Because they did it in the last match, and it's only 14 and a half minutes gone. They're on 28 goals, 17, and here they come again through Brett Scott. Tony Morwood. Oh, 2 Essendon players spoiled Lux a fortune because Ezard was there to take it away from half-back. Beautiful pass. Find Daryl Cunningham to Billy Duckworth. Oh, he nearly caught Billy. Off he goes on the left foot, a high flyer. Look at that for poor forward play. Have a look at that. Well, maybe it was a crook kick, but there was no one near the goals for 50 metres. Hand pass to Rocket Rod Carter. He'll head for the line. A very experienced player. Watch this go to the boundary line. No, he tried to. Merritt was there, grabs it, centres it. Oh, Henwood says thank you very much. This is easy as you like. As he gets it to half-back and Bernard Toohey has got time to duck around. Hand pass to Paul Hawke. He'll probably give it to Browning. He does. Browning had an option of 2. Mitchell to Bolton, who's got it. Oh, clever play to Brett Scott. Where's Kappa? Kappa ducks, weaves. Oh, dropped it at the last moment. Bad luck, Warwick Kappa. Beautiful hand pass to Stevie Wright by Kappa. And it's another one. This is magnificent football.
Barry, that was magnificent by Kappa then.
Fantastic, Bob. It's just what we've been talking about most of the season as we see on replay the ball coming. Kappa nearly took the... Oh, look, it was nearly a mark anyway, but just look at him go after this ball. Gathers it in and then spins around, knocks it out to Stevie Wright. That was just absolutely fantastic.
That is one of the best pieces of team football I've ever seen from a
Look
forward.
at this on replay. I mean, that nearly was a mark.
Great stuff by Kappa. In fact, I was all set to call it a mark. I really thought he had it, and it's only when he hit the ground. But look at the follow-up play to Wright. And I tell you what, down the other end of the ground, they've got nothing up forward, Essendon.
Tripp taps the ball on. An awkward bounce that time for Barry Mitchell. Taken by Keane. Hooks it over the shoulder. Over the top it comes. Tapped on that time by Thompson. Picked up by Cunningham. Well smothered off the boot. Quirk forces the ball forward. In comes Henwood. Picked up by Hurd. Hurd runs straight into trouble. Loses it completely and is penalised. So we find the Swans through the agency of Paul Hawke to take the free kick.
I'm wondering how I picked Essendon, Bobby. I just can't believe why I picked them.
Well, we thought they were better. Our director just said you're not an expert.
I know. He did never pick. You and I and Barry picked Swans, didn't he? But he's a bit one-eyed.
Of course I did.
He lives up here, as we see Cordy towards halfway. They can't take a mark, the Bombers. But I'll tell you what, this has been a magnificent performance. The best I've seen in years by the Swans, and they've put in some pretty good ones.
Johnston gives the hand pass to Clark. Smothered almost. Picked up by Hawker. Great attempt to stop Hawker. Hawker in towards the centre. It's all Essendon. They almost run into each other. And we find the ball coming out that time from Chris Danaher. Finishes up with Keane. Keane now swings the ball wide. It's all Swans though. And Quirk would have taken the mark. Free kick, whatever you like. Henwood takes it. Scott puts the ball over the top to Mitchell. Mitchell does as he likes, out to Morwood. Moore will run into the open goal. Down it goes. Goal number 30 on the board.
They just can't do anything wrong, the Sydney Swans, but Essendon had all the opportunities in the world to do something constructive with the ball, but they messed around with it. They nearly knocked each other over trying to get to the ball. Eventually a poor kick to Paul Quirk and Peter Quirk, and then away it went and finished up with Morwood kicking the easiest of goals.
Well, prior to last week, the record was 30 goals, 19.
Well, what a sensational performance. This is Gerard Healy. He's got his ankle heavily taped on the outside of the boot. He's coming. Oh, here they come again, though, as Healy comes off. Here we see Paul Hawke up towards the half-forward line, punched away by Billy Duckworth. He'll try his heart out to the finish. Out to Elshaw. The little men, very, very disappointing. To Shane Hurd. No wonder Essendon came up yesterday to prepare for this game. And tell you what, I reckon they ought to come. Doesn't help them much when they come up early. They ought to come up the same day like Hawthorn do. There it is, centre wing. Ball forced wide, but it's got to come back. It's a free kick to Alan Ezard, halfway between centre wing and half forward flank. A magnificent performance this. A 20-goal lead at the moment, or more in fact. Up towards full forward it goes, and Rod Carter crooked on himself then for losing concentration. Simon Madden takes the mark.
Well, 19 and a half minutes are approaching in this quarter, and Essendon only kicked 1 point.
Well, that is, if that's not throwing in the towel, I don't know what is.
And the Swans have kicked 7 goals, 4. It was 2 points at quarter time, 48 points at half time, 86 points at three-quarter time.
Simon Madden, a beautiful looking drop punt, and that gained some face by putting it through for a goal. And Simon has battled hard. He's kicked 2, but they're getting a hiding, Barry.
Yes, it certainly is, Pete, and that really doesn't help the Essendon side much at all, but just a very belated first goal for the quarter for the Essendon side.
Well, back to the centre of the ground it will come. There's Rod Carter, a fantastic competitor, and well, what an outstanding performance by all the Swans players, and certainly started here in the middle. Michael Byrne battled hard. Spencer knocks it away over the back. Cordy, how the Footscray let this guy go? Well, it's still got me beaten. He's hard. Handball wide, a big chance here for Daryl Cunningham, but he's attacked by 3 Swans players. That was fantastic. Play on, said the umpire. Let's watch Browning come down the ground. Centre wing, he'll go for the big bomb, looking for Kappa. Kappa flies, dive, knocks it away. A chance now for the Swans. In the forward pocket it goes. It comes loose. Hamilton dives on the ball, made no attempt to get it out. Play on, said the umpires. It comes back to Stevie Wright. He's got it too. Oh, clever players. He hooks it back to Brett Scott, and this bloke is a big kick. He will have to kick from 50 metres. He's already kicked 2, Brett. And I'll tell you what, I will back him for the distance, Bob.
He's a lovely kicker of the football. He's had a bit of practice today. Look at those stats. 25 possessions.
Well, here's the kick from Brett Scott. It's a high floater, a magnificent booming kick, and it's a goal to the little centre man.
That's the Swans' highest score in league football. Last week was the highest score prior to this. Before last week it was 30 goals, 19. Then last week they surpassed that with over 30 goals. I think it was 30-21 from memory. And now it's 31-17, 203.
Bob's not very happy about that, Pete. Do you notice the smile on his face? Bob's not very happy about that record score.
203-72. Byrne kicks the ball off the ground. Danaher couldn't take it. It was tapped down to right, across to Holden. Good play by Bays.
That was a very, very clever kick that by Holden. You watch this. Oh, we didn't quite see that, but he saw Capper out of the corner of his eye and he just kicked the ball off the side of his boot to hook it back to Capper. And, well, I feel sorry for Whitten because under that sort of pressure with the ball being belted down, but I reckon there's been a pretty pathetic effort by Essendon this last quarter, Bob. They have not put in at all. And if I was Kevin Sheedy, I'd be disgusted. There's Capper, goal number 6. Yes, it's a goal, and they are on fire. I don't know whether you agree with me, Barry, but Essendon have thrown in the towel.
I reckon they have beaten. It's very disappointing, but everything the Swan touches is turned into goal. Their teamwork today has been absolutely sensational, and we didn't see on the replay, but the little knockout of the centre of the ground was just superb.
Well, there's Warwick Capper, 9 kicks for 6 goals, and that's a good effort by the full forward, but I think it wouldn't matter who you played there at full forward today. I think he'd be bound to kick 6 goals because this performance has been sensational by the Swans players up the ground. Michael Byrne, have a look at that nose. He's copped a couple of very heavy whacks off the ground. Tui has been a tremendous player, a real go. Oh, have a look at that. Sheer desperation then. Bays in front, over the back is Danaher. Oh, it's taken by Holden, sets it up for Capper. Capper in front, over the back, Mitchell. Barry Mitchell picks it up, but he's offline, and through it goes for one behind. But this is champagne football.
Certainly is, Pete, and the Sydney crowd loving every second of it.
So's our co-commentator here, Bobby Skilton, with a big grin on the face.
I'm unbiased, you know that. I'm a commentator. Thripp takes another lovely mark. Been an excellent player today. Thought about giving it short to Stevie Wright. Now elects to go for the long kick. Puts it high. And a good mark taken in the last line of defence by Hamilton. He's tried his heart out, Paul Hamilton. Oh, bad mistake. It comes back to Hamilton, though. Good recovery by Hamilton. The short one by Elshaw. Across to Terry Danaher. Time for Terry Danaher to steady and drive it long up towards centre wing, but Henwood at the back, just doing as he likes.
He's made an enormous difference, Barry, to this Swan side, hasn't he?
He's a most improved footballer, Pete, and everybody in Perth last week couldn't believe how much this guy's improved, and he certainly has done a lot to strengthen up that Swans half-back line.
A lovely kick from Henwood towards centre half forward. Bays from behind, second grab, couldn't quite take it. Scott's there, taps the ball out now to Wright. Nice piece of shepherding, allows Wright to run into the open goal. It's another to Stevie Wright.
They're just doing absolutely as they like there, and we see Stevie Wright. He just ran around into that open goal as if there wasn't an Essendon defender on the football ground. As we watch on replay, it's knocked out, and watch how long he has to get around these Essendon opponents. Not a defender within cooey of him.
Watching the replay, it might have nearly been Australia, eh?
Yeah, I thought it was. And there's Tommy. Tommy still looks serious. Well, this has been another 10-goal quarter, this by the Swans. That's the last 2 quarters have resulted in 20 goals. Look at that. There was a passage there, said, please come through. And through he came too, but they're playing on enormous confidence, the Swans. Stevie Wright, that was brilliant. That was fantastic play, Wright. The use of the ball, both by hand and by foot, has been sensational. And Essendon's performance has been pathetic. I think you've got to look at it both ways. I don't think the Swans have had much opposition today. 13 kicks and 2 handballs. And is that another one? No, he's offline.
Back to the back line.
Well, I'll tell you what, those Essendon players have been up and down the ground, and they're only a shadow of the side that won those back-to-back premierships a couple of years ago. Madden down to the ground. A bit of fancy work. The Bolton was from Byrne. Now Tony Morwood, the will-o'-the-wisp. Tony Morwood, plenty of time to duck around. Bad kick. It was smothered off the boot to Al Shaw. Al Shaw going for the long kick. There's Henwood. Could have been interfered with there. The umpire said no. Well played, Neil Cordy. Good play. Izzard caught. Hand pass wide. Merritt has had a quiet day. Chips it to Hurd. Couldn't get there. Let's see what Rocket Takada does here. He'll put the pressure on. Now that was out in the full. Yes, and the boundary umpire was right. It came off Carter's boot.
Bad luck, but nonetheless it was right.
Over to Keane. Now that's a mark. That's 15 metres, that.
No
says
way.
the umpire. Well, maybe you're right. He pushed him over, but Ian Robinson said nothing serious. Gavin Marbles Keane, that's his nickname. Marbles, 17 kicks and 9 handballs, so he's had plenty of possessions. There's the kick from Gavin Keane, and it floats. 1 point. What's that look say, Barry?
I'm disgusted.
Is there anyone? Yes, it could mean anyone up there to help him. He was looking towards the heavens. Well, it's been a sensational performance. What a good kick by Carter to Quirk. Keane chips in. Has battled hard, Gavin Keane, but here comes Paul Hawke. The running players have been fantastic. Hand pass to Scott. This will be a goal, no doubt. There's Scott off balance though, offline, and misses. 1 point. And the Sydney Swans fans, they want more.
You can't blame them for that.
Well, you could. I think they've had enough, Bob.
Trevor Spencer comes straight up the ground. Terry Danaher takes the mark. And Danaher, a bit of pressure. Browning comes across to take the mark. And he's another player who's made the most of an opportunity today.
Ever.
2 goals from the half-back flank and have been a very solid player. The long kick from Browning. Right comes across in front of Madden. Now, well, what more can they do? Simon Madden, I think, thought he had that one as we see Wright come across and take a lovely mark.
But how about the commitment of these guys? I mean, it just is great to watch.
Stevie Wright puts it through the centre for his 4th goal. 8 goals last week, 4 goals this week. Not a bad return, Barry.
Fantastic return, Bob. And again on replay, Simon Madden never was really going to take that mark, or really didn't want the ball hard enough for mine, and Stevie Wright just wanted it and went straight past him.
I'd like to know what the league record is. The highest score ever. Bob, have you got any idea? Well, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but the highest score ever would be very, very interesting. They'd have to be horribly close, I think. Well, here they come again. They're going to give it a shake, whatever it is, as we see Kappa flying. He couldn't take it. Whitten was there, still battling away. Brian Whitten kicks it wide as Bobby Skilton heads for the record books. If we've got time, we'll find it.
36-22 by Fitzroy.
Well, 36-22. Oh, gee, they're only 2 goals, 2 off it. They might run out of. Against Melbourne. Fitzroy hold the record. They're 14 points behind that, the Sydney Swans. I don't think they'll make it because we're almost at the 30-minute mark of the final quarter.
And Mark Browning looks wide. Stevie Wright, nobody within 55 metres. Hand passes across to Hawke. Hawke steadies back to Stevie Wright. A long kick from Wright. Dropping short. Winton got an awkward bounce. Did well to tap the ball forward, but is that the right again? Goes towards goal. Stevie Wright brings up his 5th, and it's 35-20.
Really, what a great goal from Stevie Wright. He was so tired after his first kick there, but he kept going and collected the ball again. A great Rovers job, as we see on replay again. Hawke out to Stevie Wright, runs through the lines. Not a great kick from Stevie Wright, the first one, but just a great lesson to would-be Rovers to keep running at the ball. And look at that collected goal.
Well, this is the highest score since 1979 in VFL football, and I'm delighted too, Bob, because I've been able to hear that Sydney Swans song 35 times today. It's made my day as we see centre of the ground. They're still trying to get it. What are they now? 8 points off the all-time record score. And we're at the 31-minute mark. I doubt whether they can do it. They must be very close to the siren. Look at that. A 45-metre punch away by Henwood. They might get another goal here. Now, is that in the back? No, said the umpire. Hand pass coming wide. Fantastic performance. The Swans have not let up any stage. Keane ducks back into the fray. Kicks it. The halfback, Chris Danaher's been a very quiet player. So is Tony Elshaw. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it to Morwood. And the umpire said, holding the ball, I wonder what Tony Morwood was doing. Then he thought he could have got in the hand pass. Short pass to Hawker. He's caught with the ball. Oh, they might get that record yet. Steve Wright. Tony Morwood. Can he kick it? No one coming at him. From 50 metres out, he stabs a goal. It floats. It's another one. 2 points to go to the all-time league record.
Really, that goal just epitomises the day that Essendon have had. Tony Elshaw running through the centre of the ground, took a bounce to the ball, bounced back behind him, 3 Swans players swooped on it, and Tony Morwood had a week in which to kick that goal.
Tony Morwood, 2 goals to his credit, has been an excellent player today. So have all of the Swans. Can they get another goal? They need 2 points. I think they've got time for 3 scores, so it'll be a case of a goal as Scott kicks the ball off the ground. Right coming across, Thrips there. Johnson loses it, it's taken by Thrips. Thrips snaps up high. Capper's down there. Should be left for Capper. He can't take the mark. It's tapped over the boundary line. And so a throw-in to take place. Throw-in in the forward pocket. 33 minutes have gone. Must be very close, but let's not forget the Swans have kicked 13 goals in this quarter as Madden thumps the ball wide. So there'll be a bit siren sounds. They don't quite get the record, but what